time in the 2013-2014 men's basketball season, Robert Moore's Columbus State University Cougar basketball squad will take on an opponent outside of the Peach Belt Conference. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Lumpkin Center on the campus of Columbus State University on this Wednesday evening as Columbus State closes out non-conference play. Conference play set to start on Saturday. Tonight, though, the Cougars will turn their attentions to Fort Valley State University. The Wildcats from Fort Valley, Georgia, and Columbus State met already one time this season. It was 9 days ago in Fort Valley, Georgia. The Cougars, winners of that one, 83-78, and they'll look to add another victory to their total as they come into today 5-1 off to their best start since the 2005-2006 season. We caught up with Cougar head coach Robert Moore prior to tonight's tip. Let's hear from the head boss. Cougar head coach Robert Moore with us as we get set for Fort Valley State here on this Wednesday night at the Lumpkin Center. Coach, final game of the non-conference portion of the season. Where is this team at right now in progression to where you thought they'd be?
I thought we were right on schedule. I thought it would take a little time for the chemistry. It took me a little time to find out who to sub in for who. Now I feel like I got a pretty good rotation coming in and out of the game. So I was just not really up to our guys to come out and compete every night. And, I think they will tonight against Fort Valley. The
strengths of this team right along where you thought they'd be?
Oh, yeah, I think rebounding is a key for us. The only game we really got out-rebounded was West Georgia. So I think rebounding is a key. A few things I feel like we need to work on is, don't turn the ball over so much. We got to make a higher percentage on free throws. If we take care of those two things, I think this could be a pretty good basketball team.
It's a team that you've talked about you want to see push the pace. You want them to force the action. So it seems like in turn that results in turnover sometimes. How do you create the balance to where you push the pace but you're not turning the basketball over?
I think a lot of times just giving them more reps in practice and letting them understand that, hey, we're going to play pressure defense, and when we get a turnover, if we got a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2, let's try to score. But other than that, let's sit down and run our offense and execute. So I think those are the big keys right now is making sure we execute on offense and not make just mental mistakes coming down the court.
You've been without Jamad Salim all year. He gets a chance to make his return tonight. How do you try to implement him back in?
Not so much as in how he plays, but just trying to get him minutes so he can be available for us when conference play start on Saturday. So what we'll do, we'll still go with our same rotations. We'll start Nick Turner at the point. We'll bring Derek Spear off the bench, and Ty Harris will get some minutes, and then we'll just fill Salim in as we go because we're not really in a hurry to play him right now because those other guards are playing pretty solid.
Yeah, you have 4 point guards with him coming back. How difficult is it to find one of them that you can consistently go with and get one of them in a rhythm?
They're all so different. Ty Harris is a point guard that can push the pace. Derek Spear comes in and controls the offense. And Nick Turner can do a little both. And then I think Salim is one of the better defenders that we have on our team. So if a team got a real good scorer like Montevallo will have on Saturday, I think Salim minutes will pick up from there because he just defends so well.
Brandon Dawson, another guy that we didn't see on Saturday versus Point. Is he available tonight?
Oh, yeah, he'll play tonight. He'll probably even start tonight because we love bringing D'Angelo Kirkland and Jermaine Morgan off the bench. So Brandon is fine, and I think he'll come out and have a good basketball game today.
This is a year now where you've got 13, 14 guys now fully healthy, fully ready to go. How difficult is it for you on a nightly basis to choose which guys get to get in there?
We talk about it all the time, Stephen. We just feel like the guy who's playing the best, because I think you was at our Fort Valley game on the road. R.J. Sessions played a little bit better than some of our other guards, and he got a lot of minutes. So if you're playing well, we're going to leave you in there, but you got to know there's another guy behind you that's pushing for minutes, and I think that keeps it competitive the entire time.
Has it been challenging for some of these guys to maybe not get the amount of minutes that they were hoping they were going to get and keep them in the game?
Yeah, I think so. I think they have to have a little ego check coming into the door, but I think when they see the winning and what it can result to, I think they're fine. But most guys, college guys, love to play, so they're just trying to find ways they can get on the court and get minutes.
Let's look at Fort Valley. You just played them last Monday night, a team that does some things similar to you all. They push the pace. They like to get out and run with it. Where do they cause matchup problems?
Because their size. I think their guards are a little bit bigger than our guards, and their posts are huge, and their strength, I think that hurts us a lot. But we can offset that by our quickness and our athleticism. So it's a great matchup because two teams are very athletic, and we like to both push the basketball. So it should be an exciting game tonight. Just hopefully we come out on the winning end of it.
With the bigger size, was it the quickness that got you all ahead in the rebounding advantage, winning that one down there?
Oh, yeah, because Jermaine Morgan, D'Angelo Kirk, and Shane Haywood, those guys can beat them to the basketball. So if they come in with a little energy tonight, I think we can win the rebounding war, and I hope so anyway.
A team that likes to push the pace like they do you try to match it and push it right there with them?
We just try to take what the defense gives us. If we feel like they're giving us layups on the other end, we're going to take it. If we feel like we have to set up and run our offense, we will. Our main thing is just really get Kenny Funderburk going on the offensive end, and then also using our post guys on the inside.
Coach, we're looking forward to tonight. Best of luck.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Columbus State, winners of its last 4 games on its first 4-game winning streak since the 2011-2012 season, searching for its first 5-game winning streak since that same year, and also winners of 9 straight in this building, the second longest streak since the Lumpkin Center opened back in 2000-2001. Robert Moore's bunch, also, as you heard him talk about in the pregame interview, comes into tonight fully healthy for the first time this season. Tonight will mark the return of Jamad Salim, the junior point guard out of Augusta, Georgia. Won't play a ton of minutes, but he'll play some tonight as he gets set for conference play kicking up on Saturday. Also, Brandon Dawson, who missed Saturday's game against Point University with a knee injury, back in the starting lineup tonight. So a fully healthy Cougar bunch for the first time this year, so Robert Moore will have 14 players at his disposal. These two teams met back on December 2nd. As you take a look at the scouting report on what Fort Valley looks like, they come in here tonight at 3-4 overall, losers of the most recent game, and that was against this Columbus State team. This is actually the second team Columbus State has played this year that has played Columbus State in back-to-back games. CSU had a game in between their matchup last Monday. Fort Valley hasn't played since that game last Monday in Fort Valley, Georgia, which CSU won it by 5. But this is a team that's led by a big 4. You look at what they have on their roster this year. They're led by Brandon Davey, a preseason SIAC Player of the Year selection, averaged 16 points a game last year, averaging near 20 this year, and also over 10 rebounds. So averaging a double-double, had 40 points in a game earlier this season against Alabama Huntsville, in which he hit 12 three-pointers. CSU, though, held him to only 9 points in the first meeting between these two. Corey Hunter, a 6'8 senior forward out of Cincinnati, Ohio, a guy that averages near 14 points a game. He shoots it at 56% from the field, had 17 to lead the way in the first matchup. Then Nigel Dominic, a 6'5 senior forward out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, averaging 11 points and 7 rebounds a game, had 14 the first time these two met. And finally, the other one in that mix is Joshua Davis, a shooting guard out of Augusta, Georgia, averaging 12.5 points, 4 rebounds a game. He is their sharpshooter from outside. Outside of those 4, they struggle to find offense. So those are the 4 that you have to key on if you're Robert Moore looking at this Fort Valley roster. As far as it goes, the last time they met, it was back on December 2nd. That was last Monday. It was an 83-78 victory for the Cougars in Fort Valley, Georgia, a game that was tied at 44 when they went to the half, and CSU, playing well in the second half, was able to eke out the victory. But it was a game that featured 9 ties. It featured 14 lead changes as these two teams went back and forth. Both of them had their margins of leads in separate portions of the game, but it was Columbus State ultimately in the end that pulled out the victory over this Fort Valley team. CSU led that night by R.J. Sessions, and you heard Robert Moore talk about that in pregame as well. R.J. was the hot hand that night, so he rode the freshman from right here in Columbus to 14 points. He was 3 of 6 from downtown that night. Kenny Funderburk had a rather quiet night. The last time they met was just 4 of 13 from the field. Did finish, though, with 13 points as he had some key free throws down the stretch to ice the game away. 12 points and 11 rebounds for D'Angelo Kirkland that night, his first and only double-double so far as a Cougar, and then 11 for B.J. Battle, who's been so good for CSU here in his junior season. On the opposite side, it was Joshua Davis, who had 17, along with Corey Hunter, Nigel Dominic with 14 and 9. But again, the big stat for them, Brandon Davey had 9 points and 13 rebounds. He was 4 of 20 from the field, 1 of 11 from downtown. And when your preseason all-conference player of the year doesn't get going and your leading scorer who your offense revolves around, it's tough to pick up a victory against a good team as Columbus State is. And so that's something to watch for as we roll forward tonight. Columbus State that night didn't shoot the basketball all that well, but they defended well. Held Fort Valley to just 36% from the field, 31% from beyond the arc, and neither team shot free throws well. And so that'll be something that's worth keeping an eye on as well as we roll forward in this contest tonight. Finally, your keys to the game as we get set just a couple of minutes away from your national anthem and your starting lineup here from the Lumpkin Center. It starts with defending the three for Columbus State. This Fort Valley team attempts on average around 25 three-pointers per game, and they're going to take them from all over the court. So you've got to get out on shooters. You can't help off of players that can shoot it from the outside, and you can't afford to go underneath the ball screens. You've got to go over the top of them, put a hand in the face of the shooter, know where the shooters are, identify them, and make sure that you close out hard against those. They're shooting less than 30% as a team, but they have the ability to get hot and really run away from you if they start knocking them down from outside. Secondly, you have to hit the glass. Both teams grabbed over 20 offensive rebounds in the first meeting. These are two long, athletic bunches. Fort Valley will have the size advantage, but CSU won the rebounding battle in matchup number one. So it's all about getting on the glass. CSU had 23 second chance points the first time these two met. Fort Valley had 19 of its own, though. And then CSU is a team that's actually being out-rebounded for the season right now. So it's a team that doesn't have great size. They've got some, but they have to use their athleticism and their quickness to get on the boards. And finally, tonight, about controlled chaos. Both teams love to force turnovers, and both teams thrive in transition. CSU scored 21 points off of 20 Fort Valley State turnovers. Fort Valley scored 20 points off 19 CSU turnovers. So if you're the two teams, you have to play fast, but also stay under control. Robert Moore identified that in the pregame as well, saying that he wants his team to force the issue when the opportunities present itself. However, if the opportunity isn't there for a fast break, the numbers aren't in your favor, let's back it out and we'll try to run our half-court offense where we'll force these Fort Valley Wildcats to try to guard for 35 seconds. So that's something to look for as well as they go forward. So defend the three, hit the glass, control the chaos here, and also hit the free throws. Neither team shot them well, and that's something that must change in a well-matched matchup. Coming up in just a matter of moments here from the Lumpkin Center on Cougar Sports TV. Glad you're with us wherever you may be. We're going to send things across the way to Brian Solito, our public address announcer, for your national anthem and your starting lineup.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Columbus State University and the Lumpkin Center for tonight's men's basketball matchup featuring the Wildcats of Fort Valley State University and your Columbus State University Cougars. In just a moment, we'll introduce tonight's starting lineups. But first, we ask that you please rise and gentlemen remove your hats as we honor the United States of America with the playing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. At center for the Wildcats, 6'11", a senior from Montgomery, Alabama, now, Cougar fans, let's meet and greet the starters. First and forward, 6'7", a senior from the ATL, number 24, Brandon Dawson. At center, 6'6", a junior from Charleston, number 2, Shane Hayward. At left guard, 6'4", a junior from Charlotte, number 0, Penny Thunderger. At guard, 6'3", a senior from Indianapolis, number 11, Nick Turner. And at guard, 6'4", a junior from Orlando, number 4, B.J. Battle. The head coach of the Cougars is Robert Moore, assisted by Ben Hicks, Steve Sendo, and Carl Miller.
Columbus State, Fort Valley State, the two set to do battle on the floor. The Lumpkin Center, your starting lineups look accordingly. Nigel Dominic, Anthony Bell, Brandon Davey, Joshua Davis, and Montreal Holly. The 5 in the royal blue for Fort Valley with the white writing and the yellow trim. For CSU in the home whites, it'll be Kenny Funderburg, Shane Hayward, BJ Battle, Nick Turner, and Brandon Dawson. CSU leads the all-time series 16-5 and has never lost to this Fort Valley State team in Columbus, although it's the first time the Wildcats have made a trip to Columbus since the 1998-99 season, so making a reappearance for them here in Columbus as we get set for the tip. Stephen Williams with you alongside Columbus State softball coach Brad Huskisson as we get set for tip. In the middle, it'll be Brandon Davey and Shane Hayward. CSU will be working right to left as you're looking at it, as Columbus State searches for its 5th straight victory. In the opening tip will be controlled into the hands of Anthony Bell for Fort Valley State. The opening tap belongs to Fort Valley, and an opening dunk on the alley-oop. It's Dominic off the back screen who goes up and throws it down with 2 hands.
Didn't take long, Stephen, for us to start getting athletic and start dunking.
Funderburg hands it off. CSU with its first possession. These two, both very athletic teams, both very long, and teams that want to get out and run with it. This is Dawson spinning to his left, forced to give it up. Hayward pump fakes around Holly, who blocked it from behind. Fort Valley in the opposite way, 3-on-2. They give it off. Davis off to Davey, and Brandon Davey has his first 2 as Fort Valley has 2 easy ones. Fort Valley, a lot of ball pressure, and they force another turnover. Bell tosses it off to Davis. Davis throws it up after the contact with Nick Turner, and Fort Valley State headed to the line. We played 60 seconds, and the Wildcats everywhere on the floor.
Yeah, Stephen, the word around Lumpkin today was this was going to be a very quick and athletic game, and already Fort Valley is already coming out with a dunk and 2 other layups and a foul here. So, one of the keys early for the Cougars is stopping that transition and get some easy looks for themselves. So we're already set for a good one, I believe.
Joshua Davis, the senior from Augusta, Georgia, 6'2", 185 pounds, had 17 on the first matchup between these two. 4 of 7 from downtown. This is their marksman from outside. Guy that started every game for them this season, knocks down the pair of free throws, and CSU finds itself early in a 6-0 hole. Turnovers already a factor in this one. CSU's given it up twice, almost a third time as Davis comes over to tap that one away. It goes out of bounds on the pass intended for Battle. Fort Valley jumped out in front of CSU in the first matchup between these two and forced Columbus State to claw its way back from behind. CSU already digging itself in a hole now and looking at the same mountain to climb here on this Wednesday night. Brandon Dawson back in the starting lineup after missing a game with a knee injury as Hayward goes off the dribble. Tough athletic shot up on the glass. Falls off the front rim, but CSU will try to get on the board from the foul line.
That's the first time in 3 trips down the floor, Stephen, but the Cougars had 5 passes around the perimeter. Finally got a good look at a good shot.
Montreal Holly picked up the foul, one of 2 guys that stand 6'11" or taller for this Fort Valley team. He's 6'11", 265, a senior out of Montgomery, Alabama, as Hayward puts Columbus State on the board. They'll also come off the bench with Ralph Wilson, a 7-footer, weighs 285. He's out of Americus, Georgia. Hayward, 7 points and 10 rebounds the first matchup, knocks down the first 2 free throws. That's a welcome sight for CSU, and after the make, they have a chance to get into the press. Davies 3 from right in front of the CSU bench goes down. Davey with a quick 5, and it's a 9-2 game now. Again, they're going to jack them up from all over the floor. You've got to defend it well. Turner off the ball screen, matches it. Nick Turner with 3 of his own. You get these two teams together, you have a chance for a track meet. And a lot of scoring through the first 2 minutes here. 9-5, Fort Valley in front by 4. This is Bell. Off to Dominic. Dominic runs over Turner. Wipe the basket off. Nick Turner draws the charge.
Good defensive stop. Cougars there. They step in front of the guy driving to the basket, taking charge. Slow them down for the second time in a row. So it's 9-5 game. I think this will give a shot for the Cougars, get a good shot here and get back to a one-possession game.
Hayward again with it out top. They're going to force Holly to try to guard out on the perimeter. They think they can use the big guy in screens as Funderburk gets a clean look from outside, a little long. BJ Battle kept it alive on the long rebound, though, and then lost it, wasn't paying attention, lost his focus, and just dropped it out of bounds. It's already now 3 turnovers against CSU. Fort Valley turned the first 2 into 4 points. Sammy Jackson in his 3rd season leading the way for this Fort Valley team. A long history in collegiate basketball. Actually did a stint as an assistant at the University of Alabama. His 4th season overall as a collegiate head coach, though. Working around the perimeter. Holly working down in the post. This is Davey with it, driving left with a handoff. Shot clock at 15 now as it stays on the perimeter. Davis got his man in the air, steps inside the arc, and knocks down the 2 for Joshua Davis.
Not bad defense, Steven. Cougars come out with 1-3-1 there to change the look up and kept 11 seconds on the shot clock for Fort Valley to get a shot off. That's a pretty good series.
Funderburk with it now, driving left, spins into the lane and lost it. Another CSU turnover. Davey with the steal, and he'll lead it the other way. No numbers, so he'll slowly get it across midcourt. Comes off the screen, a 3 from straight on, bounces around the rim twice and falls out. A scramble for the loose ball, and Dominic hit the floor. A traveling violation called, and CSU will get it back. Couple of subs in for the Cougars, Jermaine Morgan and D'Angelo Kirkland, fresh off the bench as Hayward and Dawson sit down. You heard Robert Moore talking pregame. Brandon Dawson back allows him to come with Jermaine Morgan and D'Angelo Kirkland off the bench, and he thinks that that's an advantage he has on most teams on their schedule. Turner will try for his second one. Same spot, same play, and another 3 for Nick Turner.
Good pick and roll up top. Great shot. That's a great look.
Nick Turner already has a new season high. Funderburk rips it away. He's headed the opposite way on the fast break. Lost it on the way up, but they're going to say Dominic caught the hand or the arm of Kenny Funderburk as he headed for the basket. And Nigel Dominic will pick up a second foul less than 4 minutes into this game. So a big early foul as Dominic will be forced to sit down, averaging nearly 11 points a game. A guy that's a big guy for them on the boards. Kenny Funderburk to the free throw line where he can't knock the first down. A guy that's 6th right now in the Peach Belt Conference in scoring, averaging 18.5 points per game. Struggled, though, in the first matchup between these two. It was just 4 of 13 from the field and had just 13 points that night. Kenny, though, misses both of them from the line. Generally a good shooter at 72%. So it's been Fort Valley from the outset that led this one. They scored the first 6. Holly wants the ball underneath. Good front by Kirkland, taps it away. CSU on the move to the other end. Kenny Funderburk will save it in bounds, and it'll bounce over our heads. as the pass was too far out in front. CSU squanders the opportunity. And with 15:47 to go in the first half, we have our first media timeout. Timeout on the floor, 11-8. Fort Valley off to an early start.
That's the fastest I moved in years.
11-8 the score, just over 4 minutes gone by on this Wednesday evening. Columbus State trailing by 3 against Fort Valley State as CSU looks for its 5th straight victory this season. So far, the Cougars and Fort Valley both struggling with turnovers. 9 combined turnovers in this game, only 6 made field goals to this point. CSU's already turned it over 5 times. Both sides have only missed 1 shot, but they haven't gotten a chance to take too many of them. Davey to the rim, over the top of Jermaine Morgan, and Brandon Davey off to a much better night than he had the last time they met. He has 7. BJ Battle in transition, the 3 missed to the right. BJ's had 2 clean looks and missed them both. Davey the rebound, he'll lead it the other way, all the way to the rim. Davis a look from downtown, high arcer into the hands of Kirkland on the board. Screen and roll, puts it in the hands of Jermaine Morgan, who goes to the rim, and Holly has his 2nd block of the game. As with the left hand, that's what 6'11" will do for you. You don't have to get too high off the ground for the block.
Yeah, that 6'11's enforcer, but both teams are scoring off transition. Whenever the defense has the opportunity to get set, neither team is scoring. So, somebody's got to find some rhythm offensively, either team, to get some good shots in.
RJ Sessions on the floor as D'Angelo Kirkland puts it on the deck. He missed it, but Jermaine Morgan kept it alive with a tap. Jermaine, one of the best in the business at this level at doing that. Doesn't necessarily get up to get the rebound for himself, but he keeps it alive with the tip. Funderburk over Holly, falling away, and Kenny Funderburk has his first 2. Fort Valley will waste no time ripping it out of the net and running with it. Corey Hunter, who's into the game for the first time, pulls up from 17 feet and knocks down the baseline jumper. And already you can see what kind of ball game we're going to have. It's going to be fast. It's going to be a lot of scoring. Turner being hounded by Bell, gives it up to Sessions right in front of Sammy Jackson on the Fort Valley sideline. Sessions, who shot it well against the Wildcats in Fort Valley, gives it up. Turner, cross court, Kirkland, who has that kind of range, and he shows it.
Great penetration, great skip pass up to the open 3. That's great ball movement on the offensive side there.
D'Angelo Kirkland pulls him within 2. 15-13, 6.5 minutes in. They drop it down low to Holly, and it's stolen by Morgan. CSU running with it now. They lob it up. Funderburk throws it down.
There we go. That defensive side right there, possession. The Cougars went to a 2-3 zone and changed their defense for a 3rd time. Now they're back into a 1-3-1. Changing that seems to be giving Fort Valley some confusion when it comes what offense they want to decide to run. As soon as I say that, they hit a 3.
Brandon Davies, someone needs to get a hand in his face. He already has 10. Remember, in their season opener this year, Davey was good for 40 points against Alabama Huntsville. Turner driving right, dishes baseline, and he's going to be bailed out. The pass was about to be stolen by Joshua Davis, but bailed out is Nick Turner on a blocking foul against Montreal Holly. That's his second, so he'll have to come out of the game. Zach Harmon, a senior from Austell, Georgia, comes in for the first time. He didn't play in the first matchup between these two, but getting early minutes now. Derek Spear, Dimitri Davis on the floor for CSU as well. The give and go, and then off to Jermaine Morgan for the flush.
Nice look. There's Jermaine hanging around the basket again, Stephen. Always finding something good.
So Fort Valley's lead cut to 1. The double team forces Davis to give it up. It gets into the hands of Roger Hubbard, who's into the game. Davis gets it back, and Fort Valley not missing right now from the field. They're 8 for 10.
You know, typically when you go to the zone, you're giving up a little bit on the perimeter, and they seem to be knocking it down. Coach Moore and the Cougars may go back to a man and try to keep the three-point shots from falling.
Kirkland missed it at the rim. Davey can't keep it alive in front of his own bench, so it'll stay on the CSU side. Fort Valley, 8 of 10 from the field so far, 3 of 5 from downtown. Davey and Davis have combined for 17 points. I believe that shot clock should have reset as Derek Spear has to take a timeout as he can't get the ball in from that coffin corner. I believe the shot, though, by D'Angelo Kirkland hit the rim on the drive before the rebound was tipped out of bounds.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But the shot clock sits at 19. 12-10 to play in this first half. Fort Valley in front, 21-17. Off to a fast start. You assume, though, they can't keep this kind of pace up shooting, but until they do, you kind of have to change up your defensive strategy on the three-point shooters.
That's right. Did you say the last time Fort Valley played here was 99?
98-99 season.
They seem like they just shot about 300 shots about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, it looks like they were in here yesterday.
I mean, they're not missing anything. So, again, the Cougars, they're going to have to alternate back and forth between a zone and a man to keep Fort Valley confused and not get some good looks. But, Fort Valley's come out on fire, but, they're only up 4. The Cougars are managing and getting good looks. So, the Cougars just fine where they're at.
They haven't played here since 98-99. That means they've never played in this building.
Lumpkin, that's right.
0001 was when this one opened. Morgan seals off underneath. He's fouled at the rim. I believe that was Harmon who got on the arm that time of Jermaine Morgan for his first foul. But again, Jermaine with the excellent seal down low, able to get the position, and he will head to the line for 2 shots. 11:58 to go. Another media timeout on the floor. 21-17. Fort Valley on top. Stephen Williams, Brad Huskisson back here with you courtside at the Lumpkin Center. 21-17, Fort Valley in front. Jermaine Morgan at the free throw line for 2 after the media timeout, where CSU is now 2 of 5 as Jermaine, a 55% free throw shooter, doesn't knock the first one down. Both sides continue to shoot it well. It's 80% still for Fort Valley, 55% for CSU already. If there's anything to take solace in so far for CSU, it's the fact that Fort Valley is going to put the Cougars in the bonus shortly if they're not careful. Already 5 Fort Valley fouls.
Cougars go back to man defense here, and Fort Valley forces up a 3.
They force the miss from downtown, but 2 Cougars in the same spot. Neither one of them comes away with the rebound as it stays in Fort Valley's hands. Again, offensive rebounding helped both teams' offensive effort in the first meeting as Davey Didn't get the shot off the glass to fall, but he'll head to the line and have 2 shots.
You know, Stephen, this thing may come down to who shoots the ball better at the free throw line. If Cougars continue to drive to the basket and get those easy looks at the free throw line, then that may be the difference in the ball game.
Neither team shot the basketball well from the line in the first matchup. CSU was 21 of 34 for 62%. Fort Valley was 14 of 26, just 54%. And Brandon Davey, a guy that does pretty much everything well, not a guy that shoots it well from the line. He's just 48% from there, and that's tough to swallow from your leading scorer. 22-18, Fort Valley by 4. They've led by as much as 7. That was at 9-2. Jermaine to the rim. The finger roll goes down for Jermaine Morgan.
That was a great drive. Jermaine's playing a great first half tonight. That's another great look and penetration to the basket.
Already 5 for the junior from right here in Columbus and the brand new collegiate graduate. As Davey with the left hand, too strong, but the follow on the backside goes down for Demario Black. They'll throw it up, and it's ripped out of the air by Davey, who saves it inbounds, and Sessions takes it back for CSU. Derek Spear was open, but the junior decides to back it out and slow it up and get into the half-court offense. Spear driving to the rim, picks up the hand check call before he kicked the ball out. The foul goes against Roger Hubbard. It'll be his first, and that's now 6 on Fort Valley. So with 10:37 to go from here on out, CSU will shoot free throws. Spear running the point for CSU right now. All of its bench players on the floor. Spear drops it off. Jermaine Morgan around the rim again, and he's got 7. Jermaine Morgan in the right spot every time down the floor so far, and they're feeding him often. Davey over top of Jermaine, misses from outside. Harmon keeps it alive on the glass. Stuck underneath, the reverse with the right hand for Zach Harmon. It's one of the keys to the game. You got to hit the glass if you're CSU. 26-22, back to a 4-point game. Sessions underneath, tried the look-away pass, and it was off target. Jermaine couldn't keep it on the baseline, and it's a CSU turnover. That's their 6th. BJ Battle comes back into the game as they send RJ Sessions to the bench, where Robert Moore has some instructions for him. Again, this is a fully healthy CSU team now. 14 guys dressed and available to play for the first time this year. See how Robert Moore chooses to use them.
It's a great time for that to happen, especially with the opening of the Peach Belt this coming Saturday.
Black cut off, gives it up. Hunter from long distance knocks it down, and Fort Valley continues to shoot it well.
I mean, this guy, they keep shooting the ball 5, 6, 7 feet behind the line.
It's tough to defend from out there, not much you can do.
You got to believe at some point in time that shot's going to pull off.
Dimitri Davis lost it. This is Hunter leading it the other way, goes one-on-one around BJ Battle, too strong on the layup. And then Hunter was on the inline when he touched that basketball. So they'll give it back to Fort Valley, but it's matched the Wildcats' largest lead at 29-22, a 7-point game. CSU gets Kenny Funderburk, its leading scorer, back onto the floor as well. Just a good offensive lineup for CSU at the moment. Kirkland up top, off to Funderburk, being defended by Davey, leading scorer on leading scorer. Funderburk from 15 feet, short. Kirkland crashing the glass, couldn't hold on to it. Harmon, a step before he put it on the floor that time. Off the pass from Hubbard, turns it over, and subs coming in on both sides. Dawson and Hayward back for CSU. Shaquille Riley in for the first time for Fort Valley, a senior out of Stone Mountain. 29-22, CSU trailing by 7. Won the first matchup 9 days ago, 83-78 in Fort Valley. Hayward backing down Hunter. Lost it for a moment, too strong. Dawson back up with it, and the foul. It almost looked like Brandon waited a second too long to put that one back on the rim, but in turn, it worked out, and he'll head to the line for 3 the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, he got that opposite rim rebound from the corner, from a short corner shot. Most of the time that ball does rebound opposite short corner, so he hadn't been at the right place. You know, Jermaine Morgan is taking a breather right now, but it's great to see a hometown kid, hometown young man like Jermaine, who's a great guy, have a great game representing his home school here. He's one of my favorite guys to watch play. He's always playing hard. He's always got a nose for the basketball, rebounding. He's a great young man.
Brandon Dawson better hit free throws. I watched him in shoot around today. They had a contest at the end. The last one to make one had to stand at the Cougar in the center and dance for 30 seconds with his teammates watching. So it's important that he knocks them down from now on. He was the one that was succumbed to that punishment.
It's a good thing about 30-some years ago that wasn't a contest back when I was a kid. I don't think anybody would want to see me dancing.
Foul underneath goes against CSU. Ralph Wilson, that is the big man wearing 34 in the middle for Fort Valley as they throw it over the top to him. His first touch. Triple teamed immediately, and Shane Hayward rejects his shot. The second one blocked by Battle. The third one blocked by Hayward. 3 shots in a row, and now CSU on the run, but it's taken right away. It's a 3-on-1, and Hunter will slam it down. So chaotic on both ends results in a Corey Hunter slam. He has 7.
That's okay, Stephen. That sends a message that the Cougars are going to fight inside there on rebounds and those blocks when the big man comes in. So that's an okay trip there.
And a foul on the rebound coming up against CSU's Shane Hayward.
You know, going back to the dancing and free throw contest, you know, I think that's a great coaching tool on Coach Moore's part to let the guys relax a little bit at the free throw line going into the same day of the game. I think that's a good motivational tool to use.
It's been a team that hasn't exactly shot free throws well, and it's one of those things that you really can't coach it. It's all about repetition and getting to the free throw line and just stepping up and knocking it down. They only shoot it at 62% for the season, and that's a number that in order for this team to have some success, especially as they go forward into Peach Belt Conference play, that number has got to improve or it will start costing you ball games.
That's right. You know, sometimes coaches, we harp too much and complain too much when we're not doing a certain skill correctly, and maybe they spend a lot of time on the free throws, but there is that time where I think Coach Moore chose today to take it more of a lighter note and relax a little bit at the free throw line, and you know, it's a different approach to try to see if that works.
Sometimes it's not all about just laying down the law. Sometimes you watch them and they do run for missed free throws at practice, but every once in a while you got to keep things lighthearted and not add quite as much pressure to your guys, although if it were me having to do that 30-second dance circle, that would be more pressure than having to run. I think I'd rather run than do that.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You and I both are from Kentucky, and there won't be too many free throw contests. I think either one of us would lose. Now, can we actually dribble past anybody or anything like that? I don't know if we have those skills, but if you're from Kentucky, you got to be able to shoot a little bit. At least when nobody's guarding you and you're in open area.
31-25, Fort Valley in front by 6 and a high-scoring first half here on Cougar Sports TV. Good crowd on hand for a Wednesday night. The students, most of which have gone home here at Columbus State with winter break upon us. Finals are done, but a good crowd on hand. High school night, so some of the local high school basketball teams in attendance. They were invited out personally by Robert Moore, an opportunity for them to catch a basketball team of 2 pretty good teams inside NCAA Division II. Fort Valley by 6 with the basketball. Wilson showing a little range, missed the jump shot. Dawson lost the rebound, but it was last touched by the Wildcats, and it'll stay or be back in the hands of CSU. The Fort Valley coaching staff didn't agree with it. CSU has trailed throughout. Fort Valley took the opening tip, scored on an alley-oop. They led it 6-0, and they've led for the majority of this ball game. Closing in on 7 minutes to go as Dawson drives and dishes. The extra pass has Nick Turner open, and Nick Turner is 3 for 3 from downturn. Turner 3 in a row, not a guy that scores the basketball very often, but getting it done tonight, and Shane Hayward has blocked another shot of Wilson's that gets caught in the rim. Jump ball, possession arrow to CSU.
As Coach Morris went to a 5-out offense, spreading the floor out and looking to penetrate and drive and kick it out for great shots. And that was a great offensive look, especially when you got a big man on Fort Valley. Get him outside from the basket.
Funderburk on the blow-by around Wilson, missed the reverse. Dawson with the rebound. Shot clock doesn't reset, though. Battle will try a three, and CSU has another one, and they've tied it at 31.
Another good 5-out, spread the floor, great passing, skip pass, ball reversal, great shot.
CSU, after the media timeout, has scored 6 in a row, and they've knotted this one up at 31. Hunter will try for the answer. Front rim, Hayward the board, and CSU with a chance to lead for the first time. Turner pushes it into the front court. He's going to pull up, feeling it that time, but probably not the shot Robert Moore wanted.
Yeah, too soon. You've had success the last 3 trips. There's no reason to pull a shot that early.
Rolling under 6 minutes to go. 31 apiece. Two teams that played a very close match the first time. Wilson a touch. Hayward blocked it again, but right into the hands of Corey Hunter. I believe Hayward's blocked every shot attempt that Wilson's taken, and now Hayward beats everyone down the floor.
That's right. Hayward's playing both ends of the basket under the rim.
I looked at the scouting report for CSU before this game as Fort Valley's going to take a timeout with 5:32 to go in a tie game. Looked at the scouting report, and underneath Ralph Wilson's name, number 34, it said you can beat him down the floor for easy layups. And Shane Hayward, a guy that's giving up 6 inches to him, but a lot more quickness, and that time he just out-hustled Wilson back and got an easy 2.
So Shane's already out-jumped him about 3 times on his block shots, and then he's hustling down the other end of the floor, getting a layup, and then, that's the difference between a big guy that can do both sides. And Shane, the last 2 or 3 minutes, Shane has been very instrumental in the Cougars getting back to making this a tie ball game.
When you stand only 6'6" and you have to play in the middle, you got to do some other things well. And Shane Hayward does that. He's an outstanding shot blocker, and he's got arms that hang about to the floor. So he's very, very long, a huge wingspan. 5:32 to go, 33 all. Again, CSU has never led. They've tied it multiple times, but have never quite been in front. Looking for a stop here and an opportunity to lead. They double hard off the switch there against Eugene Thomas as they get it into the hands of Bell up top. Kick ball against CSU as Nick Turner denied the pass, down low to Davey, who's back on the floor. Brandon Davey still the game leader. He has 11 points.
Another defensive look for the Cougars, trapping the dribbler trying to penetrate to the middle. Oh, steal.
Turner with the steal and the save. They try to throw the long bounce pass, did Kirkland, and it's stolen by Davis. Turnover for turnover. Davis high off the rim, no good. Kirkland with the rebound. He needs to give it up, though. Active hands all over the court for Fort Valley, and a blocking call coming up against Anthony Bell as Nick Turner had Bell slide up underneath of him after he was already in the air. That's the 8th foul against Fort Valley. So Nick Turner will have a chance to go to the line where he can get into double figures.
Yeah, you said it right, quick hands. I tell you what, Fort Valley, when they miss a shot, you better not bring the ball too low. Their guys got some very, very quick hands, and they're looking for that back tap to get another steal. Very quick team, very, very good and very aggressive on trying to get that back tap.
CSU missing the front end of the 1-and-1. Hayward keeping it alive, almost tipped it in. And on the third try, Shane Hayward playing huge in the post, lays it in.
Tell you what, Shane Hayward and Jermaine Morgan has kept the Cougars with this 2-point lead here. They've been very, very big for this team.
CSU leading for the first time at 35-33. Thomas comes out to get it into the hands of Davis. The shot clock down to 16 now. BJ Battle defensively guarding. Off to Bell now. Bell, a guy not looking to score, more of a passer. Shot clock at 8 now. Davey gets it, looks at the shot clock, goes to work on Hayward. He'll pull up over the top of the 6'6" defender, and Brandon Davey, it doesn't matter. Hand in his face, it's still good. Davey with 13, and that'll quiet the crowd for a moment as it's tied at 35. Turner on the handoff. Funderburk drives into the lane. The left hand left it short. Kenny struggling again tonight.
Well, if you notice, what Kenny's doing, he's driving to the basket, but he's falling away from the basket on his shot instead of getting to the rim. So there we go. That's the difference. Now Kenny goes to the rim right there and gets a layup to go in.
Funderburk in transition that time after the outlet by Battle. Has 2, and he'll have a chance for 3 after the media timeout. 3:51 to play in this first half. CSU actually in front now, 37-35. Stephen Williams, Columbus State softball coach Brad Huskisson back here with you on Cougar Sports TV. 37-35 where we stand with 3:51 to go. Kenny Funderburk at the line trying to finish off the three-point play after the foul was committed by Brandon Davey, his first. Have to like the way CSU's sharing the basketball tonight. 8 assists already on 14 made field goals. They had just 9 assists in the first matchup between these two, and they're averaging only 11 per game. CSU with its largest lead, 38-35, under 4 to go in the first half. Bell to the rim, fouled by Kirkland, the much taller player, as Bell really had no shot, just went up trying to draw the foul.
Yes, he kind of got bailed out there. He's out of control. He's a smaller guy, but probably doesn't belong down there too close underneath the rim, and kind of got bailed out.
Bell, a guy that doesn't necessarily score the basketball very much. 4 points a game. But he does distribute it well. He averages over 5 assists per game, does the southpaw. Although he did have 9 points and 6 assists in the first go-round, so he scored a little bit last Monday. Bell, a 6-foot, 165-pound senior out of Detroit, Michigan. Knocks them both down and pulls Fort Valley within 1.
He's got a good shot, free throw line.
Montreal Holly, who picked up 2 fouls early in this first half, back on the floor, and Shane Hayward's going to use him early in the shot clock to come out and try to defend a ball screen. Expect CSU to try that a lot when Holly and Wilson are on the floor. Use those guys to screen. Kirkland thought about a 3, puts it on the floor, kicks out, Battle wide open from the corner, buries another one.
Another 5-6 pass possession, great skip pass, another 3-point look.
That time it was reversed. It was the guard being set up by the post player. D'Angelo Kirkland putting it on the deck, and CSU has already now made 6 3-pointers in this first half, shooting the ball very well. They lead by 4. Davis off the screen, drops it off baseline. Bell gives it up. Holly from 10 feet, bounces around, and Hayward grabs the rebound. So CSU a chance to extend it. Funderburk open in the corner. They didn't get it to him fast enough. He goes off the dribble through the contact, and Kenny will head back to the free throw line.
I'll tell you what, Steve, it's been a long time since I've been here over the course of the last few years. I see a guy like Kenny that is pretty quick off that first step getting to the basket. I mean, I think we're fortunate him to be in a Columbus State uniform.
Kenny Funderburk, though, struggling at the free throw line. He's just 1 for 4 from the line today, and that's unlike Kenny. He's a 72% shooter for the season and a good shooter, especially from the mid-range. Funderburk, second one rattles home. Kenny with 8 in this first half, and CSU's largest lead is now 5, 42-37. CSU spreading out the scoring, already 5 different players with at least 6 points. Davey on the spin move, got around Kirkland, who I believe just picked up his second foul, and he knows the drill. He walks right to the bench where Jermaine Morgan will come and take him out. So D'Angelo will sit for probably the remainder of the half. Just 2:27 to play, though, before halftime. Off the inbounds, they get it in the hands of Thomas. Drops it down low for Holly, working on the smaller Hayward, and Holly commits his third foul as he used that offhand and then ran right over Shane Hayward.
Again, Shane Hayward, Jermaine Morgan. I mean, that name inside, the Cougars are dominating that performance, and I can't say enough how that's the 5-point lead there.
Holly will sit down with 3 fouls. Nigel Dominic returns to the floor. He picked up 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes and 52 seconds, so he's back on the floor for the first time. Turner penetrates off to Hayward, put it on the floor, had it taken away. Morgan got it back off to Hayward, who can't finish it off, but he'll head to the line.
How about that look? Shane to Jermaine, back to Shane. Great inside look pass, jumping over his guy and dumping it off and drawing a two-shot foul here.
So Shane Hayward, who's having himself quite the first half, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 3 blocks, and also has drawn a charge. Hayward, though, left that one way short. CSU now 6 of 12 from the line. That's not the number that will get the job done. Hayward, the lefty, the junior college transfer from Middle Georgia College, knocks the second one down. Give himself 7 points, 1 away from his season high. 6-point game now, under 2 to go. 43-37. Davis cut off, good D by Turner. This is Davey. Morgan tapped it away from him, still loose on the floor. Davis has it, and before they can tie him up, Sammy Jackson gets a timeout called from the sideline, but that time it was CSU with the active hands as they were guarding Davey with 2 players. They set the screen up, and both guys came out, hedged off of it, and were able to knock it out of his hands.
That's right. One of the things Columbus State has been good at this year is they've done a lot of trapping on the outside top part of the perimeter this year, and you get a lot of steals from that, and they've got those guys that are quick. You know, you put the ball down in front of them, they're going to get a hand on it.
CSU has forced 8 turnovers already. They've turned that into 9 points. Fort Valley has forced 10 Columbus State turnovers, and that's turned into 11 Fort Valley points so far. And again, this game looks eerily similar to the way the first game went. Turnovers turning into a lot of points, and second chance points as a result of offensive rebounds. Fort Valley has 9 second chance points, Columbus State with 11 of them. Fort Valley has cooled off remarkably since starting 8 of 10 from the floor. They're down to 48%, 6 of their last 19. Shot clock's going to expire. Davis just had no idea out of the timeout that the shot clock was running down, and that's on the fault of the huddle there.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to remind your guys coming out what the time's left on the clock, and that's a big stop that could come back and hurt them right here in the last minute and 30 of the first half.
Big 90 seconds here. CSU, who trailed for much of this first half, a chance to add to its lead and really build some momentum going into the locker room. Jermaine Morgan at the elbow, drops it down low, had the pass tipped away though. Dominic read it well. Now Davey the other way, trying to dribble through 3 players, had it stolen. Hayward lost it though, and here's the chaos. Turned over a couple of times, once by each team, and it's back into the hands of Fort Valley with a minute to play. Got to close the half strong. Both of these sides looking to do so here in the last 60 seconds. This is Bell. They hedge high off the screen. Davey to the wing. Driving to the rim is Thomas. He had it taken away. Funderburk going the opposite way, lost it in transition. Battle rips it off the floor. He lost it, still loose. They dive on the floor, and Davey, they say, got the timeout on the sideline before he went out of bounds. I'm not sure Sammy Jackson's going to have too many timeouts left by the time the second half rolls around. But again, like you said earlier, every time CSU gets the basketball, be it off turnover, be it off missed shot or made shot, Fort Valley with active hands doesn't let you get any easy dribbles. I
mean, Columbus State's doing a great job on getting those steals and those deflections, get down to the court. They get down to the end. They got to find a way to complete that to get a score. They're like a football team that puts a 12-play, 80-yard drive and then get down to the 10-yard line and then miss the field goal. And they got to get to it. They got to get the ball back, and then they got to get there and put the ball in the basket. They just got to finish it off. They finish it off. There's another 8-10 points here, 8-10 point lead in this ball game.
31.9 seconds left, 43-37 the score. Shot clock is off, so Fort Valley can have the final shot of this half should they like. Columbus State, though, barring some very unforeseen circumstances, is going to take the lead into the locker room. You weren't sure if you could say that about 8 minutes ago in this ball game. Fort Valley controlled about the first 12 minutes or so. CSU finally surged in front with about 6.5 minutes to go. Down to 7 on the clock now. Bell penetrating to the free throw line. Got Morgan into the air and got bailed out again. He doesn't look to score first, but he's crafty in getting a defender in the air.
He's good at what he does, and to get the guy up off the floor, to go over his head fake and then lean in a little bit. And he's got a great touch at free throw line, so he's got a great opportunity to pick up 2 points. So this is what he's good at.
Bell made both of his free throws so far in this one. Has a chance for 2 more here with 3.6 seconds showing on the clock. Corey Hunter will check in. They'll get Dominic off the floor. No need to get one of their better players to pick up a silly third foul with 3.5 seconds to go. Bell a chance to get him within 4, 3.5 seconds left, so CSU should have one more look at the basket. We'll see how good of a look it can be, though. Bell knocks the second one down. CSU now will go ahead and play it, and they're going to stop it because the horn sounded. So I believe they're going to reset that clock to 3.6 seconds and then try again. The horn mistakenly sounded here in this first half, and Robert Moore's going to take a 30-second timeout. I believe he's got one extra in this half that he can't carry over to the second half. So they'll put 3.6 back on the clock. They're actually going to talk about it in front of the scorers table.
It looks like, Steven, they're going to, from the ball should be underneath the Columbus State should be taking the ball out in the basket. It looks like they're going to bring it up in front of their bench. So
if they're going to do that, you think they'd probably take some time off.
You would think they'd take time off, so it may work out to the Cougars' advantage, gaining the extra 30 feet.
43-39 as they talk to the scorers table. 3.2 is where they're going to put it at. So they took 4/10 of a second off. And CSU will have it, although I think you're fine with the 4/10 exchange to get it 20 feet closer to the rim.
But 3.2, that's time for 1-2 passes and a dribble maybe to get a great shot. So, it's worth taking a chance down the court and see what happens.
Battle will inbound it. Someone's got to come get the basketball, though. They hit Turner on the run across midcourt. He'll heave from the left wing, almost went down on the bank. It doesn't go, though, and CSU will carry a 43-39 lead into the locker room here at halftime. About 7 minutes ago in this game, though, it didn't look like CSU would have a lead here, but it seemed like once they started taking care of the basketball, all of a sudden their offensive proficiency started showing up, and they seesawed back in front.
Well, I think Shane Hayward and Jermaine Morgan controlled the inside part of the glass with the rebounds and Shane getting the 3 blocks. That made life a little bit easier for Kenny Funderburk to come down and get some great looks. And he struggled a little bit, but when your leading scorer is kind of getting bailed out by your 2 big guys and your 8 points, it kind of evens itself out and get the 4-point lead. But, Cougars have done a great job. I think Coach Moore and his staff have done a great job on switching the defense up from a man trap to a 1-3 to a 2-3 zone. So you got to expect they'll keep mixing it up in the second half.
Your scoring numbers in the first half look like this. Brandon Davey is leading the way in the game. He has 13 points to lead Fort Valley State. Joshua Davis with 7 in the first half. Corey Hunter came off the bench and grabbed 9. 4 all on free throws for Anthony Bell. Nigel Dominic held to just 2 points, but he played limited minutes due to foul trouble. 2 for Demario Black and 2 for Zach Harmon as well. On the opposite side for CSU, 9 points on a trio of 3-pointers. for Nick Turner to lead CSU into the locker room. Kenny Funderburk has 8. Shane Hayward with 7 points to go along with 3 rebounds and 3 blocks. 7 also for Jermaine Morgan, 6 for BJ Battle on a pair of threes, and 3 each for Brandon Dawson and D'Angelo Kirkland. So that's what it looks like as we go to the locker room at halftime. 43-39, Columbus State in front. We'll take the halftime break with them, come back, take a look at where the Peach Belt Conference stands and what's going on today and the rest of the week as we get set for conference play to open up on Saturday. As we take the break at half, your score on Cougar Sports TV, Columbus State in front of Fort Valley State, 43-39. Stephen Williams, Brad Huskisson back here with you on Cougar Sports TV. Halftime at the Lumpkin Center where Columbus State leads Fort Valley State 43-39 after 20 minutes of action inside the Lumpkin Center. The Cougars in that first half shooting 58% from the field, 15 of 26. They were 6 of 10 from downtown, 60% there. They left points at the free throw line, though. Just 7 of 13 from the charity stripe, 54% as a team in that department. On the opposite side, Fort Valley cooled off and finished 14 of 29 from the field for 48%. 4 of 10 from downtown, and they actually shot free throws pretty well. They were 7 of 8 from the line, including 4 of 4 by Anthony Bell. CSU turned it over 13 times, and that turned into 13 Fort Valley points. 11 turnovers on the opposite side for Fort Valley that turned into 9 CSU points in this one. Conference play starts for the Lady Cougars and Cougars coming up on Saturday, and before we get to that, we do have a final score from Albany, Georgia, where Jonathan Norton's Lady Cougars eked out a 56-54 win over Albany State earlier this year. So those two have played twice this season. Albany State winning the first one by 2, CSU winning the second one by 2. And so Jonathan Norton's bunch will head into conference play 5-1 before Montevallo comes in here on Saturday. The Cougars hoping to be 6-1 when the Falcons hit this floor Saturday afternoon. Georgia Regents University, Georgia Southwestern, each off to 1-0 starts in conference play this year. Georgia College has actually already played 2 conference games. Lander and Francis Marion have dropped their only 2 contests so far. Everybody else will open up conference play on Saturday. Montevallo will be in here for a 1:30 and 3:30 tip of a doubleheader. We'll have it for you on Cougar Sports TV. Across the board, though, Georgia Southwestern will be at Clayton State, who will open up conference play. Armstrong and North Georgia open up against each other. Flagler and Young Harris will open up conference play, along with USC Aiken and UNC Pembroke. So a lot of the teams getting going in conference play starting on Saturday. 43-39, where we stand as we get set to head into this second half. You rehash some of the keys that we had in this game. It was all about defending the 3 for CSU off the top, and they didn't do a great job defending it early, but as the game went on, they started to defend it better, and Fort Valley cooled off from outside. Secondly, we talked about hitting the glass. So far, there haven't been too many rebounds to go around because both teams are shooting good percentages. CSU has won the battle on the glass 15-12. Both sides have grabbed its share of offensive rebounds, and second chance points have played a bit of a role so far in this one as well. And then we talked about controlled chaos, and that may be the one where CSU has to improve the most. That's taking care of the basketball. 13, a number that you'd be okay with if you ended the game with. Not a good number for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what amount of number those turnovers are after they do a great job and get a steal, and they're making that turnover in the last 10, 15 foot of transition to their basket. You know, that's got to be the turnovers got to turn into made buckets.
CSU with its starting 5 back on the floor. Shane Hayward, Kenny Funderburk, Brandon Dawson, B.J. Battle, and Nick Turner. It's Dominic along with Bell, Davis, Corey Hunter getting the start in the second half, and Brandon Davey, the team's leading scorer. Fort Valley with the opening possession, and Corey Hunter traveled with it. There wasn't much defense on him. He just took a step before he put that ball on the floor, and CSU will have a chance for the first point of the half.
I think it's important for Columbus State here to win the first 4 minutes of this second half and try to get this 4-point lead to an 8-point lead. Get a good start here. Here we go.
B.J. Battle from in front of the CSU bench, right on cue, knocks down his third 3 of the game. B.J. with 9, all from downtown, and CSU continues to shoot it well from outside. 7 of 11 now. Corey Hunter around Hayward, got Shane in the air, and Hunter laid it in.
Interesting there. That's one of the very few times that Fort Valley has took the ball inside the post and made a move to the basket against the man defense. So, you know, be curious to see if Coach Moore, if too many more of those happens. Great 3-point shot there. Be interested to see if they don't move back into a zone and start switching defenses up again.
BJ with his second. He's now 4 of 5 from distance, and CSU has its largest lead at 49-41. Hunter wanting the basketball over Hayward. And we've got a foul coming up. B.J. Battle was the one who hit the floor. And they're going to call the foul against Fort Valley State. Brandon Davey picks up the foul, and that's his second. So CSU a chance all of a sudden here to lead by double figures in a game that's been back and forth. Columbus State, though, hasn't had a game yet in which it shot this well. Funderburk off to Nick Turner up top. Dawson, the step back, long two was well long, and now Davey will rip it down and push the other way. The no look for Bell starts to sail out of bounds. It's a turnover, and CSU pushes the other way, and that's what you talked about. Get the turnover and then give it right back.
Yeah, I mean, great defensive stop, and then you turn it over. It's got to – oh, great. Oh.
Hayward thought he had the clean block on Dominic, who was trying to throw it down with the left hand, but the official underneath the basket said he caught him on the arm.
I'm not sure about that one, Steve. It looked like he got above the ball a little bit and brought it back down.
That had a chance to be nasty on two different ways. Had a chance to be a big-time block, a chance to be a big-time throwdown. Instead, we get the foul call. It'll send Nigel Dominic to the free throw line. Didn't play much of a role in that first half. He only played 6 minutes because of foul trouble. Picked up 2 fouls in under 4 minutes of play to start the game. Came back for a couple minutes late. But a guy that scores 11 points a game, grabs 7 rebounds. The second one doesn't fall after bouncing around 3 times, and CSU is going to use it to push the basketball. But Fort Valley gets back quickly in transition. Battle will try for a third in a row. That time it missed a little left, and Dominic has the rebound.
And another quick shot, one pass and a shot, Stephen. They're scoring on a 3 and 4 passes. They got to work the ball around.
Bell missed the 3 on his end. So CSU with it back in their possession. Hayward to the rim, left hand through the contact. Shane Hayward playing a very strong game so far.
Starts the second half about the way he finished the first half. That's getting the ball, picking up off the floor there and bringing it strong to the basket.
Bell to the rim through contact. Anthony Bell saying, "Who says I can't score?"
Yeah, I mean, we might have been wrong about him in the first half. That's and he went in with the trees that time and got a little fadeaway layup to fall down.
So right back where we were in this first half, scoring on both ends. 3 minutes gone by, 51-44, Columbus State by 7. They've led by as much as 8. Rather, they've led by as much as 9, but they turn it over. Davis now, and CSU gives Fort Valley a taste of its own medicine, a turnover, and they rip it right back. Can they turn it into points, though? Dawson thought about a 3 and then traveled before he put it on the floor. Robert Moore just crosses his arm, looks to the sky, and shakes his head. Still a 7-point game. CSU didn't take its first lead until 6 minutes to go in that first half. They've led since that point, though. Fort Valley led the first 14 minutes. Shot clocked at 15 as Bell comes to get it off to Davey, who had a good first half. They hedge high on the screen. Dawson cuts him off. Bell on the handoff, had it taken away. Battle ripped it right away from him. Turner pushes the opposite way. He's going all the way to the rim, threw it up with 2 hands underneath the basket, but he drew the foul, and he'll walk to the free throw line.
Yeah, great step-in defense there to cut the guy driving off, and you know, the difference there is the Cougars get the ball down the floor and get an opportunity for a layup and get fouled and go to the free throw line. So that's what you want to do in transition. You know, they got to step up here and make these free line shots.
Nick Turner at the line where he struggled this season. Sammy Jackson not happy with his team. And how do you know? He just sent 5 new guys into the game. He said, this 5 I'm not pleased with. You're not getting it done. I'm taking every single one of you off the floor.
Well, we're sitting right at the 4-minute mark, and the Cougars have a 7-point lead. So, you know, the first 4 minutes they won. And I think now that if the Cougars can stretch out the next 6, get to the 10-minute mark with at least the same lead or or more, then they're going to be in good shape down the stretch.
Nick Turner in the double figures. He has 10 now. Let's reset the floor for you for Fort Valley. It's Holly in the post along with Harmon, Riley, and up top at the guard positions, Black and Hubbard. Harmon with it. Pulls up from the left elbow. Line drive off the front rim. Turner pushes the other way. He'll go right at the contact again off the back rim, but Nick's headed back to the line.
You know, same as last trip. Great defense stepping in and getting the ball back and going to the other end and getting a chance to go to the free throw line. If they can just continue to do that and make the free throws, you know, this game, they'll win the next 6 minutes. And now's an opportunity when Fort Valley is subbing five subs in for the Stars. This is a great opportunity to make another little run.
Sammy Jackson going to his bench, trying to send a message to his starters. It's not that he has a bench that does a lot of scoring. This is a bunch that has 4 guys that average double figures. Corey Hunter does come off the bench at the beginning of the game, but he started the second game, or the second half rather, of this one. He will score off the bench. After that, it gets rather limited. So it's not that he goes to the bench looking for a ton of scoring, but he's trying to send a message to those frontline guys that, hey, you've got to get things right because this one could slip away from us in a hurry. But the other thing about Fort Valley that you like is they're so explosive scoring the basketball that really they're never out of a ball game.
Yeah, they started the second half unlike they started the first half where they were just shooting the lights out. So, you know, they come out a little bit complacent and some shots not getting down and not getting some great looks. So, you know, he's trying to send that message, you know, let's get things going and get our feet underneath our jump shots and see if they can get some more of those 28, 27-foot three-pointers to fall.
Fort Valley has made 2 field goals in the first 4 minutes and 21 seconds of this half. They've turned it over 4 times. So CSU doing a good job defensively. Nick Turner at the foul line, where he'll have 2 shots with 15:39 to go. A chance to put CSU up by double figures for the first time. Nick having his best game of the season by far. Into double figures. That free throw gave him 11. His career high here in his second season for CSU is 14. So he's very close to having that as he'll take a seat after knocking both free throws down. Derek Spear back into the game. D'Angelo Kirkland also in as CSU is going to play Kirkland and Hayward together. They switch on the screen. Kirkland guarding the smaller player and gives it up. They're going to let Holly have the ball all he wants out there around the three-point line. 10-point game. CSU with its largest lead. Harmon trying to post up Kirkland underneath. And I believe they just hit D'Angelo with his 3rd foul. And this has been the tough part about D'Angelo Kirkland is he's a guy that's very physical and very skilled and talented, but he's had trouble with fouls.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of contact going on down there, and you know, he's just can't get frustrated. He's got to stay in there and battle and let it happen.
They get him out of the game, and then CSU gets a turnover off the inbounds. The pass stolen by Jermaine Morgan, who just checked in. So right now, though, that you've got to keep adding on. You can't get complacent here for CSU. Spear to the rim. They're going to wave off the pass. It was Harmon that hit the floor. They call a foul and a reach-in, though, before that happened. Shaquille Riley, that's his 2nd, the 4th against Fort Valley so far, as we close in on 5 minutes gone by in this second half. So far, so good for CSU out of the locker room. Off the inbounds, Morgan has it blocked from behind by Black. Jermaine got the clean look, but Black deflected it. Now Spear will go coast to coast and slam it home. Points off turnovers for CSU as they add 2 more to their total. That's 15.
Spears cheating into that passing lane gets him a nice little run out.
On the opposite side, Hubbard to the glass, and he'll draw the foul, I believe, on Spear. Derek will pick up his first. Nobody for CSU in foul trouble outside of D'Angelo Kirkland. They didn't commit too many fouls in that first half. 56-44, though. It's a 12-point game as CSU playing one of its better games of the season through the first 25 minutes and change. Hubbard, a guy that hasn't made a free throw this season. He's 0 for 3 now. A guy that doesn't play a ton of minutes. Generally in there as a guy to spell some of the regulars. All those regulars, though, sitting on the bench right now is Sammy Jackson not happy with them. Hubbard with his first point, cuts it to an 11-point game, but CSU possession of the basketball and in control at the moment. Hayward comes out, sets the screen, gets the mismatch. They back off, and Derek Spear was way too strong on the three. Jermaine Morgan kept it alive, though. Jermaine Morgan earning the extra possession for CSU. That was his first rebound of the contest. That's tough to believe. RJ Sessions gives it up. Hayward working on Holly. Holly, who's playing with 3 fouls. Hayward going right at him. The hook shot over him doesn't go down. It spins out. But Holly just picked up foul number 4.
One thing Shane Hayward brings to the table down the side is that little left-handed turnaround hook shot that he's got. You know, a lot of the post players are right-handed and very seldom go to their left, and that was a pretty good, powerful move in there for Shane. Good-looking shot on his first free throw.
Shane into double figures for the first time in a Columbus State uniform. Brandon Davey will be the first of the starters to return to the court as Holly reaches foul trouble. He's got 4 fouls, and he'll be forced to sit down with 14:02 to go. Hayward at the line for another. Already knocked down 4 free throws in this ball game. As the second one bounces off left, Fort Valley almost lost the rebound out of bounds, but Harmon kept it in play. Davey is the scorer on the floor, so fine 32 in blue. Black to the rim, lost it on the way up. I believe RJ Sessions caught him on the arm. RJ, it's his second. They're going to say Black was in the act of shooting. They're going to let him go to the free throw line to take 2.
See what, he put his head down and flew into that lane, trying to get his team going a little bit.
Fort Valley, after making 7 of 8 free throws in that first half, has now made only 2 of 6 in this second half, so not quite proficient from the line. 11-point game still. Hayward asking for the basketball, working on Harmon. Morgan gets it off Funderburk. Back out, Sessions, a clean look off the back rim. Rebound high, skying for it was Davey. You'll live with that miss if you're Robert Moore. It was a clean look for a good shooter.
Great penetration, great kick out.
Davey drives to the rim, pulls up, and he's fouled by Shane Hayward. Robert Moore again just going arms crossed with a wry smile on his face, not happy with the foul call, as Shane Hayward just picked up his 3rd foul. So keep an eye on that. D'Angelo Kirkland and Shane Hayward each now with 3 fouls. Shane will come out, D'Angelo will come back as Davey missed the free throw, and Fort Valley missing opportunities to get back in this one at the free throw line. Davey's second one not good, and that's tough if you're Sammy Jackson. Your best scorer is not a good free throw shooter, so it's tough to count on him late in the game. Spear finds Kirkland underneath, a guy all over his back, I believe Riley, as Kirkland will head to the free throw line. So it's become a game of free throws now.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it earlier, whether it's going to come down to free throws, and Coach Moore spreading the floor out right there and getting another drive and dumping down in low. It's going to come down, you know, Fort Valley shooting the ball now like it is their first time ever playing in Lumpkin Center, unlike it was in the first 12 minutes of the first half. So, and Columbus State converting that first free throw, stretching that game out to 12 point.
Fort Valley made 8 of its first 10 shots. Since that point, they've made 8 of their last 24. As the officials to go to the table, I believe they're going to change who that foul was actually on.
Changing the foul, it is now on number 3, DeMario Black.
So DeMario Black picks up the foul, not Harmon. That would have been Harmon's 3rd, so he'll be back with 2. Kirkland knocks down both the free throws as his stroke continues to get better from the line. And it's back to a 13-point game. Fort Valley in need of putting a run together. Davey being guarded by Jermaine Morgan. Kirkland comes to trap. They go off to Harmon, who makes the trap pay with a long two. Spear in transition leads it up. RJ, the trailer, knocks down the three.
That's a good three-point shot in the flow of the game. Hitting the back runner there on that, moving the ball up the floor, hitting that back runner coming down. That's a great three-point look.
The trailer, the most dangerous man in transition, as CSU almost forces another turnover. Black, a clean look from downtown, and he'll answer it.
Start feel a little intensity. Heat up here, Stephen. You can kind of a little more full court action for both teams here. And
Derek Spear that time just throws it right into the hands of Dean Sando and Ben Hicks on the sideline.
And that was one of the keys you talked about earlier. When that intensity picks up, you got to be able to control that chaos.
62-51. You got two sides here that each can shoot their way back into a ball game very quickly, as Dimitri Davis, who just checked in, poked that one away from Davey. And Fort Valley returns the favor. Riley started to cut to the rim. Davey's pass was behind him, and it's a turnover. Fort Valley, that's their 18th already.
Another good trap by the Cougars over here on the wing, forcing that turnover, that pass out of bounds.
Black gambles, gets the steal, and he'll have a wide open layup all by himself. So turnovers getting CSU's lead cut down to 9. Spear almost turns it over again as Davis pulls up from 18 feet. He misses the shot. Fort Valley with the basketball, and we're in single digits. Davey challenging two defenders, off to Harmon, almost traveled. Instead, he gets the finger roll. It's a 7-point game. This Fort Valley team, this is a feisty bunch. You know they're not going away.
Oh, they're not going to give in, and they've turned the pressure up here and got some great looks. And that's going to continue as Fort Valley's coach continues to bring his starters back in.
And the contingency from Fort Valley making their presence known from behind the Wildcat bench. Shot clock at 12. Kirkland lost it. Davey stripped him. He's got Black running to his left. A three in transition is short, and a missed opportunity for Fort Valley. But Davis comes away with the steal. Off to Davey underneath. It's still loose. And Dimitri Davis straddling Davey on the floor. Has it, and CSU will get it back. Chaos indeed, and Robert Moore says, no, let's stop right now. This is not going well for us at the moment. 10:42 to go in this contest, 62-55, but it's right back where we were in this first half. Turnovers and poor shot selection now turning into runouts and easy baskets for Fort Valley.
Yeah, I tell you what, you see all these quick hands all over his floor. If you hold the ball for a second and look down floor too early, or pick the ball up off the floor and not chin the ball real strong, this ball's gonna get knocked out of your hands either side here. This is turned into who's gonna make those easy buckets, but a lot of quick hands on this floor tonight.
Fort Valley taking advantage of CSU mistakes. Columbus State all of a sudden has turned it over 20 times in this one. And we still have nearly 11 minutes to play in this one. Both teams on pace for nearly 30 turnovers in this one. And neither side would have said that was anywhere near acceptable when we walked in this gym tonight.
No, you want, you're looking for the entire game of being under 15 turnovers is probably a good number. So, with 10:42 left in this game and already hitting the 20 mark, you got to take care. You got to take better care of the ball. And you work hard to get the ball on defense. You got to take care of it and be a little more selective on your decision making and your passing.
The high turnover numbers for CSU opponents is not new. CSU is forcing 19 turnovers a game, but they're only averaging 16 and a half of their own, and they've already passed that number with nearly 11 minutes to go tonight.
You have to give a lot of credit to Fort Valley. Those guys, out on the perimeter, you got to take care of the ball. And a lot of their turnovers, Fort Valley's getting a hand on when Columbus State gets a rebound and not being strong with the ball and knocking the ball loose.
And Nick Turner that time throwing the pass to no one. And Robert Moore this time just goes hands on hips. Starting to fall apart for CSU a little bit here. The decision making hasn't been crisp. The passes haven't been where they've needed to be. And it's allowing a team like Fort Valley, who looked like it was a little out of it a few minutes ago, all of a sudden their emotion and their energy has changed.
Well, I think the advantage to Fort Valley right now is that they went through that 4 or 5 minutes without their starters, and now they've got their starters back in about the time Columbus State's getting a little rattled and not controlling that chaos. So, right now, even though they're down 7, there's probably a mental advantage right now for Fort Valley.
And it looks like message received for that starting lineup of Fort Valley. Sammy Jackson took them off the floor early in this half after his starting 5 that he put out there wasn't getting the job done. He's gradually brought them back onto the floor, and it looks like all of a sudden it's message received, we got you, coach, because they've turned this one down from a 13-point game and CSU in control to playing great defense, forcing a lot of turnovers, and they're within 7, and they have the basketball.
Well, the old saying is the best coach on a basketball floor is that bench when you go and sit down on for about 5-6 minutes when you want to be on the floor. So, it still holds true.
Fort Valley with the basketball. They trailed by 4 at half, 43-39. CSU quickly raced it out to double figures, so Fort Valley clawing its way back in. This is Davey. Cut off, found Black underneath, and Black bothered at the rim, missed the shot. Good recovery by CSU at the rim after Davey penetrated for an easy one. Battle for 3, wide open, missed left. Rebound tapped into the hands of D'Angelo Kirkland. Battle will try the running floater with one hand. Kirkland again on the glass, missed it on the third try. Jermaine Morgan on attempt number 4 with the tip in.
Another big guy for Columbus State in battling the boards and bailing these perimeter players out on some ill-advised quick jump shots.
Jermaine now with 9. CSU already has 3 players in double figures. And to that 1-3-1 they go with D'Angelo Kirkland up top. We saw this on Saturday against Point. Black a clean 3. Missed it from the corner. Rebound run down by Black. He got his own miss. Davey reverse underneath. 2 more for Fort Valley. Brandon Davey, that was his first basket of this second half. He scored 10 points before you could blink in that first half. He's been very limited since then. Davis underneath. Blocked from behind by Riley, but I believe a body foul coming up against Brandon Davey, and that will be his 3rd.
Yeah, not a bad look, getting the ball inside, a 3-foot shot foul, and that's a good offense to slow things down and get a couple free throws here and control the chaos a little bit.
Dimitri Davis only played 6 minutes so far tonight. He's had some good moments this year so far as CSU continues to struggle at the line. They're now 13 of 22 tonight from there, 59%. It's a number in a close ball game. You'd love to be 10 percentage points higher. Dimitri in the scoring column with the 2nd, and he'll sit down. Kenny Funderburk back on the floor, so it's 3 starters. Turner, Battle, and Funderburk, along with Kirkland and Morgan off the bench for CSU. Davis around Kirkland to the rim and missed the layup. Harmon kept it alive, falling away, left it short, and B.J. Battle has the board. So CSU dodged it, and then Riley just took it right away. Riley will get it back. Basket, foul, and 1.
Again, Stephen, Columbus State does a great job in battling on the boards there, and then looking on transition, turn around and give the ball back up. If they got it, Fort Valley is quick on quick now, and if they miss a shot, they're coming right back at you and trying to get the ball back. And Columbus State's got to do a better job of getting the rebound and getting the ball down the floor.
Riley can't finish it off. Harmon got the rebound. It's going to be a 4-point possession as Fort Valley is within 4, 65-61. Right back where we were when we hit the halftime break, and a hand check foul coming up against Demario Black. That's his 2nd. CSU needs answers, and they need them fast, as their 13-point lead has been cut to 4. And they'll have a chance to get points from the line, as that was the 2nd foul on Black. the 8th of the half, so CSU needs to make it count from the charity stripe. Nick Turner there for the 1-1.
Tell you what, I wouldn't want DeMario Black guarding me. I tell you what, that kid, he can flat out get after you from one end of the floor down the other on the ball handler. He's a very strong defensive ball player.
Turner at the line and ties his career high of 14 points as he extends it to a 6-point lead, 67-61. Dominic underneath, got caught on the baseline and got an easy look. Nigel Dominic with 5. So CSU, as it's done sometimes this season, letting a lead slip away. And now they've got a battle on their hands. Into the corner, they set the screen for Funderburk. Davey got back out to him, though. Shot clock to 15 as Hayward has it against a much smaller Riley. Kirkland underneath. The shot was bothered. He got his own miss, though. Tried to put his head down and bull his way to the rim. Lost it. Fort Valley with it under 8 minutes to go now. Davis will go coast to coast and miss the dunk. Davis gets it back, though, off the miss. Black to the rim, left hand way off, missed everything, and Hayward saves it in bounds, and CSU has numbers now. Battle off to Turner. The layup was blocked off the backboard. Saved in bounds, Riley has it, and now we run the other way. Davey steps through and draws the foul.
We're getting quick and athletic in a hurry, Stephen. That's about 4 or 5 consecutive trips. I mean, the athletes here are turning. We're in for a very good last 7 minutes and 32 seconds here. This is going to get quicker and quicker as we keep going along.
Again, though, you watch the two teams walk to the bench. CSU walking there with heads down. Nobody's really high-fiving anybody. They were slow to get up off the bench. Fort Valley, everyone met them out into the three-point line. They're into it emotionally. They're excited. CSU needs something to spark this bunch emotionally.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes have definitely blown to Fort Valley. But I think what Columbus State's need to realize is they've lost that lead, but they still have a 4-point lead here with 7 minutes and a half to go. So, they got to get a stop here and come down and get a good 4 or 5 pass possession and get a good shot and just get the intensity going again.
CSU led 43-39 at the halftime break. It got out as wide as 13 on a couple of occasions here in this half. And now it's cut down to 4 as Fort Valley has now turned CSU over 22 times, and they've turned that into 20 points off turnovers. CSU's forced 19 Fort Valley turnovers, but that number was 18 about 4.5 minutes ago. So Fort Valley all of a sudden has taken care of the basketball, and it seemed like it's been that all night. If you take care of the basketball, you're the one with the upper hand.
Yeah, I mean, and that college basketball, what makes college basketball so great is it's always a game of runs, and the game of runs usually is when you're taking care of the basketball, you're going to score, but that's a great thing. And we'd love to go to the next 3 minutes with one team winning that, and the next 3 minutes the other team's going to win that 3 minutes, and that's a great thing about college basketball. But it still goes back to what coaches talk about, and that's just taking care of the basketball.
Brandon Davey has made this a one-possession game at the free throw line, a chance to cut it to 2 as he does. Davey now with 17, and it's a 2-point game, 67-65. Buckle up with 7:30 to go. Kirkland almost lost it at the top of the key. Trying to drive through the double team, and this time he does lose it, and then he commits a foul trying to chase down the ball. Another CSU turnover. Free throws coming up now for Fort Valley with a chance to tie this game, and D'Angelo Kirkland now has 4 fouls.
Look for Coach Moore the next possession down the floor. Look to see if he doesn't spread the floor out a little bit with 5 out and try and run some time down and get his guys a little more controlled on that offensive end, see if they can't get a good shot off.
Joshua Davis at the line. It's the 8th foul against CSU, so the 1-and-1 for the senior out of Augusta. A chance to tie this game at 67. 7:18 on the clock as Davis misses the opportunity. Corey Hunter kept it alive and then had it taken away by B.J. Battle. So a bullet dodge for the Cougars.
Here we go. Let's see what got 4 out here, spreading the floor around.
Battle gets a look from 3 from the corner, missed to the left.
Too quick, one pass, too quick, Steven.
Under 7 to go now. Davis rushes it into the front court. This is Davey being guarded by Morgan. He'll shoot over him for the lead off to the right. Turner grabs his second rebound. Still CSU in front, but a bad pass. Davey steals it. Goes all the way himself. The finger roll missed, and CSU dodges another bullet, tied up on the rebound, and the possession arrow in favor of Columbus State. How many times, though, can CSU dodge bullets on the defensive end?
You know, their turnovers on the offensive ends come on that first pass. They got to do a better job of getting open and cutting to the basket and getting open and making that first pass a good pass so they can get into their offense.
And a foul on the inbound coming up against Eugene Thomas of Fort Valley. That's his second. So Derek Spear, who just checked in for Nick Turner, walks to the other end on the 9th foul against the Wildcats. He'll shoot the 1-and-1. Spear with just 2 points. He's only 2 of 6 from the line this year. Make it 2 of 7, and both sides now miss front ends of 1-and-1s. Free throws so critical, and neither side shooting it well. Again, this is almost a mirror image of what the game looked like last Monday night in Fort Valley. Davey posting up on Morgan, shoots over the top, and we're tied at 67. Defense chance coming from the Fort Valley section.
Fort Valley moving into a 2-3 zone here, Steven. Let's see how the Cougars react to it.
Got to get into the middle of it. Shane Hayward trying to post up on Corey Hunter. They can't get in the ball, and I believe they hit Hunter with a foul underneath. That'll be his second, and Shane Hayward will head to the line where, fortunately for CSU, it's not a 1-and-1. It's not been kind to them in this one. It's the 10th foul against Fort Valley, so Shane will get 2. Shane, 4 of 6 from the line tonight. Shoots it at 61% for the year. Again, though, missing 16 of 27 for CSU from the stripe. .5:53 to go, all knotted, 67 apiece. CSU missing 3 free throws in a row. And Fort Valley a chance to lead for the first time since 6 minutes to go in the first half. Back to its 1-3-1 look. Davey drives baseline around Jermaine Morgan off the glass, and the Wildcats do lead. Where do the Cougars go now? Trailing 69-67. Funderburk into the paint, dropped it off, turned it over. Hunter the steal. Davey, who's taking over here late in the second half,
nice
underneath. Look. Dominic lost it on the way up. CSU touched it last. A great look by Davey. Dominic, I don't believe, was ready for it.
Yeah. You know, one of the great spots on the offensive side of the floor is getting the ball into the short corner, and Fort Valley's got the ball there the last 2 times, and so far we've come away with 2 points and the ball back right here.
Davey nearly banked that one in from the wing. You don't see that very often. But CSU gets it back. Derek Spear barking out the play from Robert Moore. Bounce stepped into a shot, gave it up. Funderburk drives baseline. And that's what CSU has to do at this point. They're not knocking down shots, so you need to at least force the issue and try to get to the foul line.
That's right. Did you make a comment about banking the ball from the wings?
Just about did it on that last one. It missed that way.
That's every shot I take from the wing, I try to bank it in, Steve.
Not from 3.
Oh, I mean, why not?
You're a better man than I am from out there.
No, my 3-point shots, I didn't intentionally try to bank them. They kind of went about 3 foot too hard.
It took Kenny Funderburk 15 minutes and 3 seconds in this second half to score his first point of the half.
It'd be great for the Cougars for him to heat up a little bit here.
Maybe getting 2 from the line will do so. He ties it up. He's in double figures with 10. He's the 4th Cougar to reach that mark. 69 each, under 5 minutes to go. CSU putting a 4-game winning streak on the line. Final game of the non-conference portion of their schedule. Screen set by Davey. They get a look in the corner. The 3 rims out of the hands of Thomas. Dominic for the rebound and the foul. BJ Battle calling for his 3rd. 4 minutes, 30 seconds showing on the clock. Again, this was a 13-point game 2 separate times in this half. CSU, though, got sloppy with the basketball and wasn't knocking shots down. Fort Valley got right back in the game. Dominic, who's still been quiet, has 6 points. Puts Fort Valley back in front. As BJ Battle sits down, Nick Turner comes back in. So we'll see who runs the point for CSU. You got 2 point guards in, Derek Spear and Nick Turner. We thought we'd see Jamad Salim tonight, but in a close battle, Robert Moore choosing not to put him in there. Free throws looming large on both sides now, as it looks like Derek Spear will answer the call as the point guard for this team. 4:20 left, Fort Valley by 1. Spear off to Funderburk, middle of the zone. He has his shot blocked by Hunter. The ball's loose. Jermaine Morgan has it. The pass ripped away by Davis. On the other side, goes up for the dunk again. You'd like to see him just lay it in, but he draws the foul on Derek Spear.
I'm not sure what, it appeared the last possession for the Cougars is trying to get Kenny the ball in the middle so he can drive to the basket a little bit. And it's kind of hard for a slasher-type player to drive in the middle of a zone, but Cougars are trying to you can tell the Cougars are trying to work and get something going for them offensively.
Joshua Davis, the one at the line. He has 8 points now, a chance for 9 here and to make it a 3-point game with 4:05 on the clock. And now Thomas will come into the backcourt to pressure the ball for a moment before backing off. CSU needs a basket. 4 minutes to go.
Fort Valley still in that 2-3 zones, give the Cougars trouble the last 3 or 4 minutes, and three-pointer top of the key.
Derek Spear doing what you have to do to a zone. That's one way to get him out of it. Shoot your way out of the zone. He has 5, and we're tied at 72. They give it off to Davey. He drives to the elbow. CSU cuts him off. Hunter for 3 from the right wing, missed left. Spear with a strong rebound, and he'll run it out. Spear off to Hayward in transition, throws it up through the contact, basket, and 1.
That's a great finish. Doesn't matter if they don't finish the first half of the game, and if they can finish those steals off transition right now, this is a great time to do that.
3:28 to go as Corey Hunter picks up his 3rd foul of the game. 74-72 where we're at. CSU with Nick Turner leading the way with 14 points. 12 apiece for Shane Hayward and BJ Battle. Kenny Funderburk with 10, and Jermaine Morgan could be the 5th Cougar to double figures. He has 9 so far. Brandon Davey is your game leader by far. He's up to 21 points, and it seems like at this point for Fort Valley, he's the one that they're giving the ball to and letting him go with it. They're going to need somebody else to come alongside him and really aid in the effort as they go forward. But again, for CSU, it seems like it's just as simple as take care of the basketball, and when they've done that, they've been the team that's on top.
Oh, and when they hold on to that basketball for that 1 or 2 extra pass, they're scoring out of it, and they just got to slow down just a little bit and get that extra pass and get a great shot. And Cougars got to come back here on defense, and and even though the one guy is looking to get the ball, they can't forget about the 3-point barrage that Fort Valley came out in the first half. They still got to guard that 3-point line.
3:28 to play, 74-72. Columbus State looking for a clean sweep of the SIAC on this Wednesday night. Jonathan Norton's Lady Cougars are 5-1 now after a 56-54 victory in Albany, Georgia over Albany State. They'll go into conference play at 5-1. Robert Moore's bunch trying to be 6-1 when they go into conference play on Saturday. Shane Hayward at the free throw line trying to convert the three-point play. 2-point game, and Shane trying to make it a full one-possession difference. Rattled out, free throws, and free throws. 18 for 31 is Columbus State. It was a game like this as Davey just didn't see the pass coming. He was getting ready to cut, and Anthony Bell threw it off his back.
You can kind of feel that the tide has crept over a little bit. Now Fort Valley's making some bad decisions, and Columbus State has capitalized, and 2-point lead here. Needs to get another great look and stretch this lead out a little bit.
A lot of swings of momentum in this one tonight. 74-72, 3 minutes to go now. Columbus State trying to stretch it to a 2-possession game. Shot clock at 15 as Derek Spear has it on the right side. Comes off the screen, looking to give it up. Goes underneath, Hayward double team, step through it, goes at the rim, and he's back to the foul line. Zach Harmon was going to make sure that Shane Hayward didn't have another and one. So CSU, and at this point, you're better off fouling Columbus State than you are giving them a clean look because the Cougars aren't making them.
That was an excellent job on both sides. Columbus State passes the ball around, get a great look inside, and the Fort Valley defender not going to give up an easy layup right now and take them to the line. So, you know, the bad thing is if Hayward don't connect here, it's going to turn out to Fort Valley's favor.
They get a point back because of the foul because Shane can only make one of two. He has 13. It's a new season high for him. And it's only a 3-point game, though. CSU now 19 of 33, 58%. Davey thought about going for the tie. Funderburk closed out well. And then a bad pass stolen by Shane Hayward. So
Shane Hayward again, Stephen.
Shane playing his best game as a Cougar this year. And now a chance to not only stretch out the lead, but run a little clock. You can't get too caught up, though, in running this clock out. You need to get into the offense and get a basket. Derek Spear being guarded by Bell. 5-second count on. He goes off the screen. Spear to the rim. They will wipe the basket off. Harmon stepped in and took the contact, the charge. And with 2:04 to go, Fort Valley back with it, down 3. That's Derek's third foul. 75-72, still where we're at. 2 minutes to go. Bell drives, tried to dish. The pass was deflected. Dominic comes up with it, and with the left hand, Nigel Dominic cuts it to a 1-point game. 75-74, 1:40 to go. Who will make the most plays down the stretch? Turner, an open look, passed it up. They go baseline. Funderburk on the cross-court pass. Pulls up, foot on the line, missed the 2. Fort Valley a chance to lead. Davis leads it the other way, steps through the contact. Turner, or rather Spear, commits the blocking foul. And Fort Valley to the line for the lead. Derek Spear with his fourth now. Joshua Davis to the charity stripe, where he's 4 for 5 tonight. If he can make it 6 for 7, Fort Valley will have the lead with 82 seconds to go. Missed the first one, though. Whichever team loses this game tonight is going to look at that free throw column and hate themselves.
You know, the free throw is not a lot of skill involved. It's mentally doing the same thing over and over, and physically having that as a habit, and they win or lose ball games.
Huge free throw misses from Joshua Davis, normally a reliable shooter from there. CSU keeps the lead now, 112, 111, 110 to go. Hayward lost it. CSU lucky to get it back. Morgan stuck, and Robert Moore runs at the official and says, give me timeout. CSU, it looks like right now they're more focused on running out clock than they are getting a good shot off.
Well, you know, it took about 18 seconds for them to pass the ball 3 times on that same side of the floor. And you know, if they're trying to score out of it, the ball's got to be moved from one side of the floor with some ball reversal and looking inside. So, you know, they're kind of stagnant right now on the offensive end, and you still got to look to score. You know, there's only 17 seconds left on the shot clock, and you want to get a good shot within a 10, 12-foot range and then crash the board and see what happens. But look for Coach Moore to come out this 17 seconds here with a drawn-up set play and trying to look the ball inside and then pass it maybe out to a shooter for a 15-foot jumper.
1:04 to play. Columbus State leads Fort Valley State 75-74. Columbus State basketball, but a very difficult place to inbound it. 17 on the shot clock. They'll get it into the hands of Derek Spear as we hit 1 minute to go. Down to 12. Spear almost had it taken away by Demario Black. They kick it out. Hayward out to Nick Turner. BJ Battle wide open left wing. He missed it. Rebound pulled down by Dominic. 47 seconds to go. 14-second differential between the two clocks. Dominic into the corner for Black. At 8 feet, he goes off the glass. He missed it. Tap no good. Rebound into the hands of Black. He misses again. Follow not there. Rebound tipped around near midcourt. Davis runs it down, and then BJ Battle fouled him 40 feet away from the rim. 28.3 seconds to go. For BJ, that'll be his 5th foul, and he is out. On that possession, though, one of the keys to the game was hit the glass, and they gave up 3 or 4 opportunities on that possession by itself. And here we are, 28.3 seconds. Joshua Davis, who just missed 2 to the line, both of them would give him the lead. First one gets the friendly roll. Fort Valley foregoing this rebound.
That's interesting. I don't know if he's bringing his players off the line so to give confidence into his free throw shooter or what he's trying to do here.
Second one, good. Fort Valley leads by 1. 28.3 seconds to go, and Sammy Jackson's going to take a timeout. Now you look at it. Let's reset where we're at. 76-75. Fort Valley leads. Columbus State, BJ Battle is out of the game. Kenny Funderburk is on in his place. So if you're CSU now, you haven't solved this zone in this second half. You have to wonder exactly now where are you going with this basketball and who's getting this shot.
Yeah. You know, Coach Jackson, he brings all 4 of his players off the free throw line, and the guy and his player hits both shots. So obviously he knows what his guy needs for the free throw. But you got to think Fort Valley is going to probably set up into a kind of a token full court press, slow it down a little bit. And I think the Cougars, what they need to try to do here is get down, get a good shot, 4 or 5 passes, and not wait for the last shot, but get a good quick shot and opportunity to crash the boards and get a rebound.
You don't have to rush it, but you don't want to shoot the final shot of this game.
That's right.
Because you want to leave yourself a chance to extend it if you miss. 28.1 on the clock. Morgan, Spear, Turner, Hayward, and Funderburk. Where does CSU go after the timeout? Spear with the basketball. Fort Valley by 1, and Robert Moore now says, I'll take a timeout of my own to set up a play. 22.8 seconds to go. And again, at this point, there's no one to blame for being down but yourself. CSU's turned it over. They've missed a ton of free throws, but credit Fort Valley. This team got active defensively, and they stayed in the ball game even though they were down double digits.
Yeah, Fort Valley about the 8 or 9 minute mark. But Coach Jackson started bringing the starters in one by one, and that intensity started to step up, and they battled back and made this a close ball game.
BJ Battle hit the big 3 for CSU against West Georgia a couple of weeks ago with 19 seconds to go to tie the game late. He can't make this shot to potentially win the ball game for CSU because he is fouled out. He's done with 12 points tonight. So CSU has to find someone else to make this shot. Robert Moore has called Kenny Funderburk his go-to guy. He struggled tonight with just 10 points on 3 of 9 shooting. Does he trust his junior, the transfer from Charlotte, North Carolina, with this last shot, or will they try to use him as a decoy? Robert Moore in that huddle drawing that play up now.
I think Coach Moore is going to try to get the ball to Kenny, but obviously Fort Valley is probably well aware of who they want to have the ball, so there's got to be a number 2 guy here waiting to get the ball and get a good look.
22.8 left. Jermaine Morgan will inbound it. Where does CSU go for the basket? Almost stolen in the backcourt. Derek Spear with it now, down to 20. Into the hands of Funderburk. He'll drive, get into the lane, drop it off, lost it, and we'll see where they point. I believe it's going to stay with CSU. 15.4 left now, and now they'll inbound under their own basket.
That was a great look. That was a good opportunity right there.
It'll be Derek Spear that'll inbounds now. 15 seconds to go. CSU trailing by 1. They get it underneath Jermaine Morgan. And they're going to say it was kicked this time. Morgan had lost it underneath, but it'll stay with CSU. 14.1 now. Still trailing by 1. They get it to Morgan, and he slams it home. 12 seconds to go, and they're going to have to stop because the clock didn't stop. It rolled a couple more seconds off, but the inbounds play works to perfection.
I tell you what, they ran a little crisscross, a little X there in the middle, and got Jermaine as the second cutter coming down the lane, and great play out of bounds underneath.
Jermaine Morgan with the two-handed throwdown. Will that be the game winner? Fort Valley State will take a timeout. 12.6 seconds left. 77-76. Columbus State in front in this one.
On the first out-of-bounds play, Stephen, they ran the exact same play, but Jermaine went a little to the right of the basket, and then when they call it kick ball, they came out, set up exactly the same, ran the same play, but then Jermaine kind of gave a little fake to the right and then skipped over to the left towards the ball, and that's, I tell you what, that's a great in-game heads-up play Jermaine Morgan made right there.
CSU has to play defense. 12.6 seconds showing. You have to believe the ball is first in the hands of Brandon Davey. He has 21 points tonight. CSU knows that, though. So will they use Davey as a decoy, or will he get this shot?
I think what you're going to see out of Fort Valley is they're going to try to get the ball and get down and get the ball within 2 or 3 foot of the rim and try to draw a foul or a layup, and they're going to get down there in a hurry. It's going to be interesting to see. I think the Cougars look like the Cougars are coming out into a 1-3-1 half court. Maybe not. They want to slow that transition down a little bit and force Fort Valley to make the last second shot, and not a great look here. They want to force a bad shot and
CSU gets the turnover, the steal. Funderburk with the finish. It's still, though, a 3-point game. 6.3 seconds to go. Still a chance to tie for Fort Valley. Davey for the tie. The follow-away misses. Morgan the rebound. No foul. And CSU will escape with a 79-76 victory. And it was that pressure in the backcourt that forced the turnover and turned into 2 points for CSU and a victory.
Fort Valley, they got the ball in, put the nose down, took 2 hard dribbles and 2 Cougars off that 1-3-1, collapsed on the guy and forced a turnover. So great setup of Cougars and Coach Moore right there to force that turnover and then get the ball and take the ball to the hole. That's a great finish to a great game.
In the end, it's going to come down to that final play that CSU had coming off the inbounds. It was 76-75. There were 14.1 seconds showing on the clock. Jermaine Morgan got loose, made a tough catch, and then went through traffic and dunked over a guy to put it down.
Yeah, he dunked and pushed the guy. The guy's momentum went underneath the rim, so Jermaine put a big capitalization on that dunk.
Nick Turner's going to walk his way over here, and he's going to talk with us for just a second here as CSU wins it 79-76 over Fort Valley. They've now won 5 games in a row, and they are 6-1 on the season. CSU picking up the hard-fought victory, though, here on the floor of the Lumpkin Center. It's the junior, or rather the senior from Indianapolis, Nick Turner, that sits down with us. Nick, a game that went back and forth all night long. It started a little slow for you, but it seemed like the team that took care of the basketball the best was the one that was in control.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying, turnovers always, more important in the game. The ball is 10/10 of the law, you know what I'm saying? So you got to have the ball to, score, as well as we got to score off turnovers as well on there.
And it seemed like in that first half, you're not a guy that's required to do much scoring, but they've sagged off of you and gave you an opportunity to score.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, I started as a wing player, but you know what I mean? I've been playing a point guard position, which coach been having me play, and I can score the basketball too. So that's something I want to take advantage of by the way they play D.
And it seems like this team has found a way on a night when a guy like Kenny isn't scoring as prolifically as we've seen him do. There's plenty of other options to balance things out and make up for it.
Oh, yes, sir. Definitely. Like I said, we have starting 5. We have a lot of guys that can score as well as coming off the bench. So, we have guys to pick it up when guys like Kenny or BJ may not be hitting as much as usual.
6-1 now, 5 straight wins for you. You have to feel good about where this team's at going into conference play.
Oh, yes, sir. We definitely got to have a lot of momentum going into Montevallo on Saturday, which is a big game for us. So definitely good to have a good season start.
Nick, congratulations tonight. A big victory for you and 14 points. Go for it.
Thank you. Go Cougars.
79-76, Columbus State wins it here on this Wednesday evening over Fort Valley State. Again, it was a game in which Columbus State, they led it for most of the game from about 6 minutes into the first, with left in the first half, until about 6 minutes to go in that second half. And then it seemed like it slipped away from them. And again, it was the turnovers and the lack of really kind of focus and concentration offensively that allowed Fort Valley to get back into the ballgame.
Yeah, it comes back to what I kind of kept saying the entire first half is, I think one of the key opponents here was Shane Hayward and Jermaine Morgan, controlled the interior part of the defense and the offensive rebounds, and I think they kept those turnovers and missed free throws kind of at bay with their play on the inside and set Columbus State up for an opportunity to get a couple shots here at the end.
Your final scoring numbers look like this. Brandon Davey was the game leader. He had 21 points tonight, so he finished a little bit above his 20-point average. 11 apiece for Joshua Davis and Corey Hunter, and nobody else in double figures for Fort Valley. For CSU, 5 players hit double figures, including 4 of the starters. Nick Turner led the way with 14 points. That ties a career high for Nick in his 2 years here at CSU. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks for Shane Hayward, who played a very good 27 minutes tonight. 12 for Kenny Funderburk, along with B.J. Battle, who Kenny Funderburk, a guy that's averaged 20 points for much of this season, didn't get his scoring going tonight, but he did finish it off with an exclamation point with the late dunk. And then Jermaine Morgan, who you've been on most of the night tonight, 11 points, 7 rebounds, and had really the game-winning basket at the end.
Yeah. I think enough probably hadn't been said about Nick Turner's play, but, he's 5 or 7 at the free throw line, and he only makes 4 turnovers himself. So, he did a great job at the perimeter and controlling the offensive side, especially when Fort Valley went to a zone. So, Nick Turner had a great ball game tonight, and I thought that was instrumental along with Shane and Jermaine on their inside play.
Robert Moore will be joining us shortly once he finishes on radio with Scott Miller. You look down some of the other numbers. CSU, you look at it, they shoot 49% for the game. That's a number Robert Moore will be glad to take on a nightly basis. And then really, you look at it, a big difference in this one. They shoot 48% from downtown. They knock down 10 three-pointers in 21 attempts, and that's where they won the ball game. On the opposite side, Fort Valley goes 5 of 19, and that was key number 1.
Hey, I tell you what, if you shoot better with somebody in your face, and especially from the three-point lane, you do it at free throw line, that's still going to get the job done for a win. So, if they can continue that shooting and that aggressive play, and the Cougars are going to be fine come Saturday.
And we talked about it throughout the game. Anytime a game finishes in single digits and you shoot free throws as poorly as both of these two teams did, you're not going to be happy with how it ends. Fort Valley goes 17 of 28 from the free throw line, and in a three-point loss, 11 misses. That one's going to sting a little bit if you're Sammy Jackson.
Well, you got to wonder if they're going to come up with some kind of free throw drill tomorrow at their practice where somebody's going to dance or something other. But free throw line, it's called a free throw, so that's something that can't be not taken lightly. So both teams got to improve on that as their season goes along, and there's obviously both teams are going to start getting into conference play, and conference play there's going to be tight ball games. So that's got to be something that's got to improve on both sides.
And you can't imagine CSU is going to win too many games this season against good teams, shooting 19 of 33 from the free throw line, 58%. And that's been the story of the year for CSU from the free throw line. They haven't been good, and you have to feel fortunate to walk out of here with a victory when you do that.
And one of the strengths that Columbus State does have is they can drive to the basket to draw those fouls, and that's a huge thing in college basketball, is the ability to do that and get those shots. But like I said, you got to get up to that 75, 80% percentage and get you that 10, 12 extra points.
Look, Fort Valley went 10 of 20 in that second half, and there was a stretch late in that second half where you had both sides going to the free throw line for 1-and-1s, going to the line for 2. Fort Valley had a chance to take the lead with 2 free throws, missed them both. CSU had a chance to extend it on their end with 2, missed them both. It was a night of missed opportunities, and CSU lucky enough to be on the right side.
Yeah, that 5-minute span there that you're referring to, Stephen, the referees needed to just kind of lose the whistle instead of taking the time out, so we all had to watch all the missed free throws. But when you have 2 athletic teams that are quick on quick and there's a lot of pressure from one end to the other, those kind of things are going to happen.
Robert Moore walking down here, and he's going to give us his final thoughts. His team is rolling right now, 6-1 on the season, 5 straight victories, and they'll get Montevallo coming up to start conference playoff on Saturday. Coach, back and forth affair. Fort Valley controlled the beginning, but we were talking with Nick Turner about it tonight. Mm-hmm. It seemed like whoever took care of the basketball had the edge all night long.
All night long. And, Stephen, I was just very disappointed in our guys because we didn't secure the ball. A lot of times we'll get a rebound and we'll just let them knock it away from us. I thought Fort Valley did a great job of being the most aggressive team. They got to loose balls. We just seemed like we was a half step slow and not focused on the task at hand. And you can tell by the stats we had 27 turnovers. I mean, if you're not focused, that's when you turn the ball over. And we're just going to go back and watch film on this because we can't worry about it too long because Montevallo, number 12 team in the country, coming here on Saturday.
Hey, if I would have told you pregame you'd turn it over 27 times and go 19 of 33 from the free throw line, I don't think you'd have said you'd have won this game.
Oh, no, and I was having flashbacks because last night I was watching Kansas and they turned it over about 30 times last night and couldn't get the win. And, you're just fortunate to win a game like this because – if you go by the stats, you shouldn't win a game like this.
Let's talk about a couple of individuals. Nick Turner, not a guy that you asked to score very often, but in that first half it seemed like Fort Valley was so focused on everyone else that they were allowing him to take the shots, and he took advantage of it.
Oh, yeah, Nick is doing a better job of reading the screens and reading what he's supposed to do off pick and roll. And I thought tonight Fort Valley tried to go under the screen on him because they didn't think he was going to shoot because he's not averaging a whole lot of points. But Nick can make that shot, and I thought he made some great decisions tonight. And I thought he got us off to a good start. He don't get us off to a good start, I think we're in trouble all night long.
And then Shane Hayward, a guy who played his best game by far for you so far this year. It seemed like down the stretch he wanted the basketball down low, and there wasn't anybody that was going to deny that.
Oh, no. I thought his confidence level was up. I thought he wanted, like you say, he wanted the basketball. And I thought he played a pretty tough game inside because, Fort Valley is a huge team, athletic team. If Shane don't control the boards on the inside and Nick don't have a great first half, we could have been in trouble all night long.
Yeah, you talked about falling behind early. When they're shooting at 80%, everything's going down for him. Do you just tell the guys, hey, at some point they're going to miss, or do you have to make changes?
We have to make some adjustments. We went to a little man-to-man to try to slow them down, then went to a little half-court trap to try to slow them down. I thought in the end of the game was big when we went to our full-court press because they couldn't just get the ball up and just kick it up for a shot. And I thought those 3 or 4 things that we made some adjustments on was help us win in the game because we did not play a very good basketball game tonight.
Take us through that final play. You got 14 seconds on the clock. You're on your own baseline there. Derek's inbounding it, and twice in a row it looked like the same play. Jermaine goes to the rim. The first time he doesn't make the catch, and the second time he did.
It's a play that we call zone, and we put our 2 post guys at the top of the key and our 2 guards at the block. And when Derek hits the ball, the 2 guards sprint out to the corners. And what we were really looking for was Jermaine or Shane diving to the bucket. And the first time I think they tipped it away, and the second time Jermaine got it and scored. But if they collapsed in, we was going to go for the 3 and just win it from that way. But we was glad that he was able to get the shot up and get it in the bucket.
All right, Saturday, let's talk about it. Montevallo is in here. That's a team that has had Columbus State's number, and rightfully so. They've been one of the better teams in America and in this conference over the last few years. Challenges across the board for them.
It's going to be a tough challenge for us. I was telling Scott Miller earlier, if D'Angelo Kirkland, Shane Haywood, and Kenny Funderburk don't come out with some of their better games against Montevallo, it's going to be a tough task for us. We got to have guys step up to a higher level now that we're going into conference play because these conference teams scout you a little bit more. They do more things to take things away from you. So our guys got to come out with their best game on Saturday. We have no chance.
And Coach, you're off to your best start of your Columbus State career, 6-1, and a big victory for you tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks, Stephen.
Coach Robert Moore, as we wrap things up from the Lumpkin Center tonight, 79-76 the final score. They've now won 5 in a row. They're 6-1 in the season. It's the best start of Robert Moore's young career at Columbus State, and they now turn their attentions to Montevallo. And I guess through 7 games, there's only one record that it's any better than 6-1 going into conference play. They've played about as good a basketball as you could ask for them going into a conference.
Well, regardless of the free throw shooting tonight or the turnovers, you're one win away from being undefeated going into conference play. You can't ask for a better position to get you guys ready to go for this long stretch.
Let's look at your upcoming schedule. We're back here on Saturday. Montevallo, the team that will kick off Peach Belt Conference play. The women will play at 1:30, and that's a Jonathan Norton Lady Cougar-led bunch that is playing great basketball right now. We've only seen them on this home floor one time, so looking forward to seeing the Lady Cougars back here. 1:30, they'll tip from the Lumpkin Center. We'll be on the air right around 1:15 on Saturday, and then the men scheduled to play at 3:30. Probably won't tip till closer to 4, but that is a big-time doubleheader, a chance to start off conference play right off the bat. And then on next Tuesday, the 17th, Clayton State is in here, and the men will play at 7:30, and the Clayton State women will play at 5:30, and that is, remember, the number 1 team in the country for most of the season last year. That's Clayton State, 5:30 and 7:30 coming up for you next Tuesday night. Partner, it was fun, and hopefully we'll get to do this again.
I appreciate it, and I had a great time tonight, and the future is bright for Coach Norton and Coach Moore's team, and I'm ready for an exciting Saturday open up the Peach Belt.
Let's wrap things up here from the Lumpkin Center in Columbus, Georgia. 79-76, the Cougars win it over Fort Valley State on this Wednesday night. They'll turn their attentions to Montevallo on Saturday. Until then, for everybody here at Columbus State University and Cougar Sports TV, for my partner, Columbus State softball head coach Brad Huskisson, I'm Stephen Williams saying so long from Columbus, Georgia.